are hot. Cameras are hot.
Hey,
Oh, I forgot.
oh, he forgot.
Go back.
All the ladies everywhere, I hope you hear me loud and clear. I know you pretty and work hard and got a lot of class. So when you hear my voice, shake that ass. Hold up, let me get your name and your story, maybe offer you a drink while I roll up. I don't do clubs, but tonight I had to show up with some green in a bottle of that crown just to blow up. Entice me with your knowledge and tell me about your dreams. My eyes travel your figure, looking at finer things. I'm reading between the lines, I want you between the sheets. You think I was D-Wade the way that I bring the heat. She want that cool shit, just she can always take a fool with. She got that ass and she know just what to do with. Give me the A like I learned that as a school shit. We on some cool shit. Say she wants some swank like this. Say she wants to smooth that shit. Say she wants some groove that shit. Love it when I pop my shit. Love it when I pop. All the ladies everywhere, I hope you hear me loud and clear. I know you pretty and work hard and got a lot of class. So when you hear my voice, shake that ass. Yeah. Hold up, let me get your name and your story, maybe offer you a drink while I roll up. I don't do clubs, but tonight I had to show up with some green in a bottle of that crown just to blow up. Entice me with your knowledge and tell me about your dreams. My eyes travel your figure, looking at finer things. I'm reading between the lines, I want you between the sheets. You think I was D-Wade the way that I bring the heat. She want that cool shit, just she can always take a fool with. She got that ass and she know just what to do with. Give me the A like I learned that as a school shit. We on some cool shit. Say she wants some swank like this. Say she wants to smooth that shit. Say she wants some groove that shit. Love it when I pop my shit. Love it when I pop.
Yo, what up? What it do, people? It's the OG of the Double G's, your boy Big Dog Joker checking in. Your boy King J.
And of course, it's your girl Courtney B. Tapping in live and direct. How y'all doing this evening?
Yes. And we are here with some very, 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 very special guests. Of course, right on my right here, I have my lovely wife. Would you like to introduce yourself a little bit, sweetie?
Hello. I'm Jasmine Haverly, and I am a school teacher. I'm glad to be here.
And on the left, we have the person who has pretty much molded me into a lot of the man that I am today. My mother, Miss Letitia King.
Well, hello. It's wonderful to be here. What's up? I'm now no longer in the middle school sector. I'm now a college professor, so I'm now Professor King, and it's awesome to be here.
Hey, put some respect on that, Professor King. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Professor King.
Okay, I actually like that. Can you kind of elaborate on that, Miss Professor? Am I pronouncing that right?
Professor King. Yes,
Miss Professor King. I'm not gonna do this with you today, Mama. No, you, Mama. I don't feel comfortable. Do I have to say Professor King?
No, you can say Mom.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. It's happy to have you because it felt like too much of a what you call a scripted interview, trying to sit here and ask those kind of questions. This is Mama. Thank you, Mama, for coming, and baby, thank you for coming, man. This feels kind of full circle. I kind of feel at home. Now, of course, I pretty much know everything about both of y'all as far as I know. But these people out here don't know them. But we start off our show with a segment called That's What's Up.
Okay.
In which we talk about something positive that has happened to us. Anywhere, just us coming into the week. We're going into Friday. We want some positivity rolling along. So I would love to start with my wife. What something positive that has happened to you this week?
Yeah.
Besides me,
Something positive. About teaching.
anything. Your life. What has put some positivity, some light on you?
Just seeing my kids grow. Just seeing them grow.
Yes.
Seeing my daughters being, coming into themselves. Seeing my little baby boy. Just seeing him be the little leader that he is. Oh my goodness, he is. That's my cookie baby. But as far as work, just actually seeing my students grow too.
See, that's what's up. And it make you feel good. It make me feel good. All right, now we got Mama dressed up over here like she finna go to war with every disease. What's something positive that has happened to you?
Okay, as my family knows, I've been battling COVID all week. And yesterday, I finally tested negative. That's why I'm up here with my gloves on. The gloves are both basically fighting monkeypox. Because I don't trust anything. And of course, the mask is not only for my protection, but protection for you all as well. Okay, for positivity this week. For me, it's stepping out on faith. I'm in the process of starting a little YouTube channel called Tish Talk. And for those that have known me forever, you all know that I used to sell adult toys. Well, I'm getting back into that industry, and what kind of did it for me, and I'll go deeper into it later on, but that Roe versus Wade turnover, that reversal really kind of woke me up into, wait a minute, men cannot control what women do, but the one thing I know women can control is how they feel. So we're going to go deep into that later on, but for positive, it's just for me stepping out on faith, starting a new job as a college professor. And also still, I couldn't give middle school up. I will sub in middle school because there are children that I adore children. And I'm focusing on starting a tutorial business. Oh, I can go on and on and on. But for positive for me this week, just stepping out on faith.
See, now that's something blessed to bring it in. Okay. Come on down the line. Bring it in, Miss Courtney D.
Yeah, come on, Courtney.
Man, Thursdays are like my day of peace. Like every Thursday is a great day for me, y'all. Honestly, it's just, today I went and got my hair cut and got some new glasses. Like, it's like Thursdays have really become like a continuous self-care kind of thing, Like I made some music, talked to my cousins, talked to the important people today. Like I wasn't in a bubble, but I was really just, loving on me, and we here now.
That's what's up.
That is.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Gonna bring the love on down the line.
Yes, self-care. I can help with that.
I got a middle schooler now, man.
You have a middle schooler.
I got a middle schooler now, man. And he just went on a cruise today, so that's my positivity. I ain't been on a cruise yet. He been on cruise. Yeah,
he in middle school.
So, hey, seeing him out there on the water, that made me happy.
That's beautiful.
That is.
That has been beautiful. I was able to buy a TV that we had broke. My son broke.
Congrats.
Yeah, my son and I was mounting the previous TV. He decided to come in and play at the wrong time, kind of knocked the TV over, shattered the thing. But through the grace and laughs of said I was able to go into Walmart before the storm and get a nice little TV and put that thing on the wall.
Right before it rained.
And it didn't even rain that long.
Rain long.
But it told
It rained hard, but it didn't rain
The
long.
Wyatt had a whole tree on top of our school this morning. A whole tree. I'm like, y'all.
Wow. Okay, well that's good, Marcel. That's positive that y'all got a new TV. I don't have to replace it. Woo! Okay, that's what look like that.
But that's what's up. That's what's up. But today we will be covering a few things. Really more since we have a lot of educators here. We will be talking about comprehension in teaching. Something to where I know you all teach, but a lot of these kids don't comprehend the same thing at all. And I know they get frustrated. So since you're actively dealing with little kids right now, how is that a challenge?
It's a challenge because we don't have the full support from, honestly, don't shoot me, don't come from me. We don't get the support from the parents at all. Like, you probably get your one or two who's like severe, like a super parent, but the rest, we don't really get the support from the parents. And then two, honestly, not all teachers are really good teachers. They're not really there. They're not putting their heart into their art.
Okay.
But no, you have that, and then just every 5 minutes they start a new curriculum. So how can we really help the students when we just don't have all of the missing pieces of the puzzle together? So I really believe it's just everybody. I don't know.
No, you were right.
That's why one of the reasons that I, before I stopped teaching, I wanted to be a counselor. I went through a counseling cohort with my district right before I stopped teaching. And the only reason that I actually stopped teaching was because of that incident in Uvalde. And being in my 50s and teaching children that are still 12, because each year I get older, but I still teach the same age of kids. And as I got older, my patience and my tolerance, and then just the lack of support from the parents, well, not all parents, some parents, it just became a lot. So teachers are no longer just teachers. We're mothers, we're fathers, we're counselors, we're confidants, we're everything to children. And when you get a parent that just don't appreciate that, it almost feels like we turn into babysitters.
Yeah.
Because the curriculum that we're supposed to teach has nothing relevant in life that I can think of other than reading and math. The rest of the curriculum is, I can't see how it's going to help these kids pay a bill, balance their taxes, balance even
Real
their
life.
bank accounts, just real life, raise a child, make cognitive decisions that are good in life. Teachers don't do that anymore. And I just refuse to do that. As a teacher, I'm going to teach the whole child. And that's just me. That's just me. So that's one of the reasons I've stopped, because I feel stagnated.
Yeah.
I just couldn't grow anymore as a teacher under the tutelage of TEA, Texas Education Agency. I just couldn't do it under them. But I knew if I had the opportunity to do it on my own, I would. I digress.
Can I ask y'all a question? Y'all are parents. How do you feel about education?
Yes.
Right
How do you
now?
feel about education?
Because
That's a good
I
question.
feel like we can go on and on and on,
I ain't
because I feel
gonna
like
lie.
it could be, it's one-sided. How do you guys feel?
You gonna go first?
I done came across some crazy teachers, man.
Be
It's-
more specific. What do you mean crazy?
As far as not giving out information in time, or not giving out information at all, like your child could be failing and they wouldn't even tell you type stuff. Like,
And because I'm on the other side, I can answer why that doesn't happen. Teachers have a plate, not just one. We have about 8 plates that we have to balance. And out of those 8, only 1 or 2 deals with really contacting the parent.
yeah,
The rest of it is making sure the child can pass so we don't lose our job.
yeah.
Because now, most of the time, out of experience, and Jasmine can attest to this, we don't get the support we need anyway. We may get a few threats for a month or 2, and then after that, the parent no longer cares. So I see both sides.
Yeah.
Continue, please.
You know,
Oh, okay.
I actually seen that. Just stepped out to the restroom real quick. But coming from just seeing everything on the parent side to actually going in and seeing everything behind those doors, it doesn't make sense to me.
You see it from both sides.
This is the sad part about it. I told y'all when I originally went into it, I went in with the mentality that I got to be the big dog on the yard. And it's sad at the fact that I had to go in there and treat the education system like the prison system, to where in order to control things through the lack of resources, like right now, the school would look dull, and they're telling us, "Oh, you got to put less on the wall. You can't put your name on your door. It's a fire hazard. You can't paint the walls above a certain line. You can't decorate the halls with pictures. If you have kids' pictures, so you got to take all that down. The walls just have to be, this, because that's a fire hazard." But then you go over 3 schools down to where these are more, we'll just say, suburban kids. Look at the same building, same school. They're able to paint their walls. They're able to put all of this stuff up. They have resources handed to them to where they getting extra gyms built, extra stadiums built. They're getting extra equipment, and they're looking at the other schools like, "Oh, we forgot y'all even exist."
No, I don't think that's true. There is money there for Title I schools. It's just misappropriated. So the money is there. It's just, you just have to have a really honorable leadership. And I've been actually honored to be under some really good principals that use the Title I funding for what it's used for. However, I've also been subbed at some schools that did not. So the money is there, Marcel.
Somebody's putting it in their pockets. For anybody in Real Talk 100 Radio Land that does not know what misappropriation of funds means, that means somebody is getting money from the state of Texas or the United States, and they're putting it in their pockets instead of spending it on taxpayers.
It hurt, don't it?
Yeah.
We got to come in and say teachers aren't getting the praise that we deserve. They look at us as the babysitters.
Thank you.
You know what?
Yes.
Yes, Clarissa, because not only do we have to go and get these degrees and also get multiple certifications, because we're in Texas, so you got to be ESL certified. You have to be this certified, that. I just received my master's to be a principal. I have to take extra certifications to be a principal and to still be thought of as a whole babysitter. Like, girl, would you talk to your doctor this way? Like, would you talk to a doctor? Because a doctor has a degree too. Would you talk to just any other profession? Would you talk to your lawyer? Who's about to help you? I don't know. Help you? Would you really talk to them that way? I don't know. I just feel like.
Like, man, you just here to get me out of trouble.
So that's why I'm all over the place. Like, and to go back to what you said, I'm honestly feeling a certain way. Like, I've started this school year in a weird space.
That's why I refuse.
Here I am, I'm Miss Haverly. Like, I'm loved on certain social media, but then am I though? Like, I don't get the recognition. I can't land a job to save my life, like the job that I want.
Well, you are. Don't say you can't land. Because you have a very good occupation.
Yeah.
And you're very effective. I have to give you your flowers now, Jazz. You are an awesome teacher. You are Hasby Teacher of the Year 2 or 3 years in a row.
Right.
I mean,
You're awesome.
which one was it?
It was just beginning teacher of the year. Like
The beginning teacher of the year. Okay. Don't
No,
just
I
say
mean,
just. That's big.
Talk about those flowers because you're right.
It's like-
Your social media presence is huge. Your social media presence as a teacher is huge. It's undeniable. And then it's not like these teachers can even get closer to what you're doing. You're actually dressing up, cosplaying for these kids. So you're putting your life, things you do in life, into school. And it just so happened to merge so well to where you're doing it so naturally. It's just like, boom.
Clarissa said something. I'm so sorry.
Say,
You
man.
guys.
Oh,
No. The last part. No more teacher-parent involvement at all.
And it's not. Go ahead, Jazz. You can
Question.
elaborate because I'm no longer in the middle school.
How do we get, especially in our neck where we're working now, how on earth do we get the teachers, the parents involved with the school? Like, what can we do? Because I can't give out free food. I ain't no money. What can we do to involve parents? You know what I was thinking? Because I had a radio celebrity come out to my old school. He came,
Kiati.
came to the school. And now I'm thinking, like, how can I get back in contact with Kiati? So he can come in, like, maybe address the parents, like, hey, y'all, let's get more active in our,
I have a hand going up over here at your request.
When I was in school about 15 years ago, when I was in school, they had, how they have daddy-daughter dance, and where they used to have bring your parents to school day. So the parent would sit there with you all day, walk you to lunch.
I remember that.
You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So that's one way. Now, how many parents are going to participate is the question.
So maybe that's the question.
I have to say,
we do it.
yeah,
There is no
we had a
way
really
parents are
big.
coming.
Oh, y'all do it all the
Yeah,
time.
it's a big, our school, the school that I previously worked, was really big on community. And I have to say, a lot of those parents were very supportive because I used to coach. I coached volleyball, basketball, and track when I was in middle school. And those parents were very supportive. I that's why I say I've seen both sides. I've seen the supportive parents if we needed anything. I mean, I've even had parents bring me lunch that were just that supportive. Go ahead, I digress.
Don't. Was it more of Black parents or
Yes.
was it Hispanic parents? Because
Honestly, it was both. It was both, but I get what you're saying. Because we worked at a predominantly Hispanic school, we did get fed a lot, and we had a very strong PTO. So I've been fortunate to work at schools where the PTO was extremely strong, and we were really treated very well. But again, it's so few and far between those Title I schools that actually do that.
So the question is, Jasmine, how do we get parents to interact with the schools, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Can I please have your real phone number and not the number from Burger King? What? Yes, I have a phone number to Burger King.
Yeah,
we don't know. That's just childish. That's just.
Well, that's better than being blocked. I called one parent, I got blocked. I will.
Wow.
And I was calling because it was a really good call. It was a good call for a student because I rarely call home if there's an incident because I handle those in my classroom. So if my kids loved when I used to call home because they knew it was something good. And that was the only time I called. So when I called, parents were like, oh, Miss King called. Oh, that's good. They got a reward because they knew when I called, it was something positive. So I try to flip things that way as well. Go ahead, Jazz. You wanted to finish?
No.
All right. So that's it.
Sorry, guys. I feel like
teaching. That's the passion. Teaching is a passion.
The radio is for y'all to actually get out these things. Like these are things that really need to be heard because if you come on here and you don't speak your mind and you don't speak your concerns, how could it ever get fixed?
The thing is, no one really wants to fix it. This may be a reprimanding for me just for speaking my mind. That's one of the reasons teachers don't speak because there will be consequences behind everything that I've said.
Yes.
And I'm going to have to deal with that. But at this point in my life, I can say those things. Jasmine, you cannot. You're still under TEA. I have options.
So the CEA is over all the teachers, or
Texas Education Agency is over all the schools in Texas. Curriculum, everything. And that's what I don't understand. Why isn't there a blanket curriculum for high school, middle school, and elementary school? Every school, they do their own thing, but they take the same test at the end of the year.
That's true.
I don't understand it. Aldine is on Common Core, and everyone else is on TEACS base. It's just a lot. I'm sorry, I don't work for Aldine.
Parents, if y'all listen, parents, y'all have to be more involved because y'all's kids are not learning what they need. I'm just gonna be real with you. Lord, please don't lose my job, but I'm letting y'all know.
Don't.
Y'all
just
have to,
digress,
you
Jess. You just bought your home.
Okay. On that note.
Let's move because we can't.
On that note, why or how can they? Trying to find my words here. How can they put a sock in your mouth when you know what's going to fix the problems? Can I ask that without you getting in trouble? How can they? How are you going to fix the problems? You deal with the problems every day. You teachers, but they put a sock in your mouth so you can't help fix the problem.
It's the same thing. With the COVID is the BA2 variant is out. I think that's what it's called.
They got another.
If someone, another variant out. If a teacher catches or has COVID, we can't tell the other teachers we have COVID. We have to report it somewhere. So if a student has COVID, we cannot let everyone know that student, or we get reprimanded. It's almost like throw the rock and hide your hand. And if you show your hand, we're going to reprimand you. It's just an understanding. Will they say that out loud? Absolutely not. Is it understood? Absolutely. If you want to keep your job, it's just certain things you cannot report. Period.
I have COVID. I'm a teacher. I'm just speaking.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't just come out like
No. Listening audience. I'm not saying I have COVID. I'm saying I'm a teacher,
right,
so to speak.
And you
and I have COVID right now. It's August 8th or 9th, something like that. I'm not allowed to say, Teacher Courtney, I'm going home. I have COVID.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You have to go and report it directly. There's a number that you call. And you call and they document that you had COVID and what school you're at. After that, they tell you to, I know you have to report it to the principal, your APs, your assistant principals. And after that, that's it. That's all you can actually tell. You cannot tell other students. The school is responsible. We have a public relations department that will send out a letter to the parents saying that, hey, there was an exposure at the school. They can't say who it was, or anything. They just send that out.
They're sticking to confidentiality.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I
Okay.
honestly had a opinion on that actually earlier about being on the inside trying to fix it. That's the only time I noticed that a problem can actually get fixed is honestly from the inside, because generally where I'm at, I bring my toolbox, and it's like instead of kind of waiting, my natural thing is not to wait.
All right, Albert Elementary over here.
Nah, y'all know that. Y'all, Malcolm, you've known me forever. I'm not one of those people that's gonna like, hey man, I don't. You saw when you said the power outage had happened. I'm like, look, man, I'm on my way. We finna fix it. Period. I'm not finna wait on nobody to come fix it. If I have the skills, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to do what I can to make it happen.
Yeah.
And so I noticed that from the inside, it's been really the only way that things get even kind of remotely fixed. Taking down the flags, actually washing them, making the school look decent with what you got. We know how to work with what we got. That's the only mentality. I noticed that's the mentality you need when you go into these schools. Otherwise, you're going to have a mental breakdown.
But it's so sad you have to work with what you got when you have other schools that are working with excess of what they have instead of everyone having equal books, equal computers, equal everything equal. I mean, I've gone to one school, there was a Chick-fil-A in the school. Then I gone to another one, I couldn't figure out what was for lunch. It looked like just crap. So if you're gonna do it, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Make it all the way equal all the way across, and that is just not happening.
On that note, I got a lot to say tonight because I have somebody else said something. I think it was Jasmine. Somebody said that she did, and you told her to cut it off, but I can't get in trouble, so I'm gonna speak for her. I have a 20-year-old. I have 21, 20, and 18. And then I have another 21-year-old that doesn't live with me. Most of them went to Westfield in spring.
Mm-hmm.
Man, look. 3 of them out of that 4 can't write an essay. They can't spell half the things they say. They use things like LOL and LMAO
in the paper,
in their papers, in their essays.
They really write like they text.
No, for real.
Yes.
In real life.
They write
in real life.
And they would draw the emojis too. I'm like, what is this?
And this is considered formal writing. And I have some because I was a writing teacher for over 13 years. So I'm gonna speak on that as well.
I'm living with it. And I'm like,
they took handwriting out. They took cursive out.
You finna turn this in?
They took all of that out.
They took it all out. They don't know how to, like, when I went to school, you read a short story, and at the end of the short story, they're gonna quiz you.
Yeah.
Who's the main character?
Yeah.
Who was the antagonist?
Yes.
Whatever. I can't remember nothing else right now.
Come on, reading teacher.
I can't.
That's her.
What was, who was his girlfriend? Where did they go to school? Points in the short story. These kids today, they read something, and what'd you read? Something about something about the school bus. I can't remember nothing else. What you mean, man? You just read it 2 minutes ago.
Their attention spans are so small now.
For TikTok, the longest you can do is 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Attention spans are so low right now. So no.
But I think that's what did it.
However,
because you can get a whole lesson across through a TikTok video now.
True.
If you do it right, but if you can hold a kid's attention for 2 minutes, being interested on TikTok, we had to teach using, what was his name? Blippi. He teaches sports. It's a dude who teaches PE sports. The most annoying voice in the world to me. But he showed these little videos of him showing the kids how to play basketball, showing them how to do tennis. And for 2 minutes, you can do that. But if I sit here and physically try to show these kids how to play basketball,
that's it.
You think I'm joking, Jay? They will actually scream out the sounds from 2K. If they feel like they shot is green, oh, it's green. How did I miss?
Please
stop only calling when there's bad things too. More positivity.
And that makes it even.
Yes.
And going back to the attention span of the students are groomed to be short. However, at the end of the year, they take a 4-hour test where they cannot move, they cannot go to sleep, they can't do anything for 4 hours.
They go crazy.
But yet, we already know the attention span, especially of elementary school and middle schoolers. For adults, it's 20 minutes. So for middle schoolers, it's even less. And for elementary school, it's even less.
6 minutes.
And you expect these kids to sit for 4 hours on a STAR test? And no, I'm sorry.
See, when I was in high school, I guess I never understood why we had standardized tests because we're not really learning anything. Like y'all are telling us what y'all want us to know. And when I got to college, it was a rude awakening. Like nothing I did mattered.
It didn't matter.
Nothing mattered. The only thing that helped me was I was in advanced classes and I went to Hightower, so I was in a medical academy and I actually went to college for science, biology, and kinesiology, basically. So I was already in the direction of what I wanted to do, but outside of that, I have not used nothing. Like why did college taught me everything because I had to really learn how to do it by myself with my professors guiding me along the way, basically.
Just things that I just mentioned. You didn't learn that in high school. The writing an essay.
No.
Algebraic expressions.
But what is that? What are we gonna do with that?
You can't. You're saying you can't translate it to life. Is what you're saying.
What am I gonna do with that?
Okay.
I'm good. I'm smart, bro. I can do it,
Right.
but bro, it what I
think it's the field of career. Because engineering, you will use that. Statistics,
but even when I got into biology and the body, it was like, okay, I'm thankful I was in a medical academy because, like I said, that part was insightful for high school for me. Outside of that, I was bored, but I was passing my classes.
And I can believe that, yeah.
So it was like the standardized tests. Why do we have them? Because it's not really testing anything. Like, what does it do? And so it's like,
I can't answer that. Even as a teacher, I cannot answer the standardized test. One thing as a teacher, I do a lot of research with, I'm just a nerd like that. But I looked at the Finland, one of the best educational systems in the world. They pay their teachers like doctors and lawyers. They don't work over 4 hours a day. They never do standardized tests nor homework. And it has the best educational system in the world. What I don't understand is we have one of the worst. Why aren't we mimicking something that is the best? So teachers, this is my plea to teachers that are just tired of this system. Can we come together and come up with an educational system that can save our children? I am a dyslexia teacher. I teach dysgraphia. I'm also an ESL teacher, and I teach LAR, English Language Arts and Reading. Last year, I taught social studies. I am now on a college level teaching ESL adults how to speak English and write correctly because I'm old school. I'm very old school. And my son will tell you, even when he's just normally talking, I would interrupt him so quickly and correct his English. And that is the truth. Yep. Teachers, this is my plea. If you are out there and you are just sick of this school system, let's come together and create something that can save our children. This is my plea. Thank you. I digress.
Well said.
Bang, bang.
Now, y'all think this is how she really talks in real life. I was raised by infomercial boys.
I do not have an infomercial.
Marcel, it is time to get out of bed and live your life. You need to go over there and watch that. Yeah. What are you going to do? You've been playing your games. Go in there and watch the dishes.
But don't get it twisted. Now, I can't go there. Now, don't get it twisted.
That part I never had to see. I was checked at the infomercial voice.
Okay.
How many times did I really have? Now, I've seen people get that voice, but I had no reason to bring that out of you. I was sneaky enough not to get it out.
You better digress real quick.
We have a comment.
Okay, go ahead, Marcel.
She like that teacher that parent that came to the school. I wanted Courtney to read it. Why I got her? She go ahead, Marcel.
You sat in the front of the class.
Boy, you goofy.
Courtney, can you please?
We can't even get in the schools no more. Can't bring the kids lunch or any of that. I understand we have COVID guidelines still, but some of us parents want to be more involved. The schools aren't showing us they want us involved either.
Okay. A lot that is the case because some they do say, hey,
especially in elementary, I feel like parents should be welcome.
They communicate through email.
And COVID guidelines, really?
That's what they claim.
Really?
Everything is via email. You can't come to the school for nothing. You got to watch the broadcast online through Zoom. And it's like those are little kids. They need to be around other children to understand themselves and each other.
And nobody follows COVID guidelines. Walk in any school, no one has a mask on. Everybody's crammed in a room. I mean, the teacher's still up there teaching. All the kids are talking and coughing and sneezing and touching.
And licking people.
It's like they limited it within the school, basically. That's what it's like.
COVID guidelines, that's just something for them to say.
It's a cover up.
It's kind of like a CYA. And if you know what those acronyms mean, as teachers, it's exactly what that is, a CYA.
I'm trying to figure it out.
Let's cover your ass.
Okay. Look, I ain't been in them situations.
Nah, man, in the corporate world, they pretty much have a similar thing with saving. But
okay.
Courtney, you actually spoke on something too. You said kids need certain things when they're dealing with this instead of just this whole video view of everything. So, two teachers. Y'all have a lot of emotional connection with a lot of these kids that y'all go through the years. So it has to be a stressful mental bearing on you to see everything a child go to, not be able to kind of comprehend some things, knowing that they're going through something at home. How do you actually continue to see this child every day and not have that mental stress?
I am still working on that. I've only taught for 6 years, but I've been in education for 10. But an actual teacher to actually be in that situation, I'm still trying to work on that because I try my hardest. I try to not bring work home, but it literally, I swear, it's there, and I don't know how I cannot think about the kids, especially the ones who are really, really going through some things. It's hard. So you have some advice on that one because it's
honestly.
Hard.
I have no advice. How do you detach yourself from kids as a teacher?
When you know they're actually going through something. Because I done seen some stuff, and I'm going into a second year, and I done seen some.
So how do you keep it business and not personal?
And honestly, I can't. I just can't. I've purchased shoes. I've purchased school clothing. I've purchased barrettes. I've purchased other personal things for young ladies. I've done it all because I love what I do. I love my students. And because I am a mother, I am a grandmother, I am just a loving person. When I see a child, and it doesn't matter the ethnicity, because I just believe in one race, and that's the human race. It doesn't matter the ethnicity or anything of that child. I just see a child, and I'm going to teach that child, and I'm going to show that child how to be a very productive, loving human being. That's just being a teacher.
Okay, so before I read this comment, you made me think. So how do you as teachers cope with that? How do you cope with being more than just a teacher? Like,
that's what I'm trying. Yeah.
Like, it's like I'm understanding it's hard to separate the two because y'all really care. Y'all are passionate about what y'all do in y'all profession, but it's like, how do you really cope with that?
It's difficult because I also build a relationship with the parents as well. It's not just the child. It's a team. It's a community. I'm going to be honest, Courtney. I don't have an answer for that because I am an empathetic person. I feel when a child is, we're teachers.
Yeah.
And I'm a true teacher. I've won HASB Teacher of the Year twice. I've won ESL Teacher, and I don't speak anything but English. I've won that a year. I've been nominated Teacher of the Year at several schools it's just, I love what I don't do it for the accolades. I do it for the children. So I can't separate. I don't have an answer for that.
Okay, so the comment says, working with special education has taught me that we really can't teach comprehension. We have to find different ways to communicate and to be hands-on with each other. When I worked with middle school, they taught me that they sometimes choose to not use any type of common sense. They just want attention. And
that is so true. And Clarissa, this is how I handle that. I also work with special education. That's one of my certifications as well. I am a special ed, EC through 12.
You're on fire.
With my special needs kids, I didn't work with the life skills, but I did work with ADHD. I did work with behavioral, and they loved me. And the reason, and I did not let them do anything they want. If the one thing I asked them to do was, okay, you did that. What were you trying to accomplish? You put it back on them to make them look at their behavior and answer questions about their behavior, because they already know if they do this, it's certain outcomes that they're used to. Give them an outcome that they're not used to. Don't give them a recommending outcome. Give them maybe just a hug type outcome, not a hug. What am I trying to say, Jazz? I'm looking for the word. An embracing outcome.
Just love. I can't think
just love. Instead of that, oh, you did this and we're going to put you in a headlock and throw you up against a wall. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to use any of those restraints. We're going to sit, let you do what you do. And once you calm down, now let's look at things. Again, I didn't work with life skills, so that's a whole nother ball game. But I did work with behavior, and most students are told they have a behavioral problem. They're just told that. But what most people don't realize, I'm sorry, you all, I am passionate about education. What most people don't realize, the brain doesn't fully develop until you're 25 years old. So that means that reasonable part of your brain does not develop until you are 25. That's why I don't understand gun laws and all of that unless you're specially trained. Once you're 25, that part clicks on and you make rational decisions. Until then, you have fight or flight. Those are only two decisions that you're going to make. So until that brain is developed or even groomed, you're going to constantly get students with bad behavior. That's the part you need to groom as a teacher. The cognitive part, the reasoning part. I digress.
You just said a mouthful, but so much truth. Like, everybody getting in trouble all the time. It's not pacifying bad behavior either. It's just showing you that, all right, look, you did this time, but let me show you that there really is something different you can do. And I feel like that's what we're missing sometimes. There are the ones that do that, but I don't feel like it's enough of that within the school environment, no matter what grade level.
And that is the truth. I'm glad I sat right here next to Tupac, because he said a line that I never would forget. He said, keep your head up, legs closed, and eyes open. And that's just a motto for me. Keep your head up. That means have pride in yourself. Love yourself. Find what it is. Everybody is here with a purpose. A teacher finds that purpose in students. And we pull that purpose out of that student. And we groom that purpose and ensure that student lives up to their full purpose. And that's not appreciated.
Oh, wow. Clarissa, that's the question of the hour.
Good, Clarissa. Read it, Jazz.
Is education really that important to the board? Or is the numbers of students more important? Baby girl.
Go ahead. I'll let you answer that one. Take that one, Jazz. I remember these days.
I am short with my answer, baby.
Come on. Stop letting us wait.
My opinion is it's all about the numbers. It ain't about the money. Baby,
if it ain't about the money.
We teachers get in trouble if we do not take attendance. Why? Oh my gosh, especially at that time, baby. Excuse me, ring, Miss Haverly, you did not take your attendance. What's going on? You know how broke we're going to be if you do not take attendance right now? Or parents, make sure you bring your kids to school today. Come on, even though it's the last day of school, make sure you come. It's all about the money.
Especially before
even
that
though we don't see it. I'm like, okay, so if the kids come to school, can we get a new school?
Talk about the Peens count. What about that Peens count for October? The Peens count. Come on, that's an acronym.
No, you have look. I'm trying to save my job.
Okay, you can't talk about the Peens count. Okay, I digress. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh, you can.
CIA types now.
Yeah, we got CIA.
But just from diving into that, just going into education, that lets you know something that, hey man, the water, things get shook real fast. The fact that you can't say much to protect something because they know.
It's like
hey, look, we pay you.
Teacher by teacher.
Yeah.
And you tried to bring me into this?
Me too.
Knowing I'm gonna speak my mind.
Look, first of all, every organization has its own game. As far as with you, let's just say where you at, that corporation right there, they have their uppers, they have their upper heads who really don't care about what's going on the floor. What they gonna do, they gonna come down when they need it, show their face, do whatever minimum they have to do to get back onto their piece. But in reality of it, not a lot is gonna change.
They're gonna have to see me.
But they do that in every organization. Within this one, the only reason that it's looked at like this is because, look, teaching, bro, it's a bunch of kids. It's almost like just like the prison system almost. The more inmates we have, the more we get paid, and we gonna hit you with a bunch of lines.
How it looks?
Oh yeah, most schools look like prisons. Every school I worked
lines
with,
on the floor. That's where the kids need to walk on them lines on the floor.
I mean,
hands behind your back.
I remember
operate on a bail system.
Recess time.
And that's my problem. Like
schools are mini prisons.
Be involved. Like if the parents really understood, like this came. I know Clarissa, you said earlier, schools aren't involved in all of the teachers, but I don't know. Make some noise. Talk to the news station or something because it's a lot that happens. Like that's why I'm so happy that I am a teacher because I know the ins and outs. So I'm like, okay, so my daughter's not gonna go here; they're gonna go over here because it's still a piece of wood, but it ain't that big of a piece of crap. So I feel like teaching helped me help my kids.
The one teacher that I really wish was here, her name is Michelle Goodman. She's my cousin. I think she's on a cruise. Her and her best friend, Alicia, they are over Tipsy Teachers. And they've been teaching forever. I probably can take
Oh, yeah. We had
Tipsy Teachers. Yeah. And Michelle can give you a really good perspective of education. She's a diag. So she travels. And she tests schools. She tests students. What diags do, they're diagnosticians. They test students to see if they can be qualified for special need programs. And she can give you a lot more insight than we could because we were stationary at a school. But the one thing, again, we can say about the educational system, it's broken. And we keep trying to super glue and Band-Aid it. But we need to just scrap it, look at Finland, and just start over.
Like our biggest focus is all about sports and like that's cool, that's great. But what about the musically inclined students? Like what about the artists?
What about those that can dance? Because
I feel like why on earth have we took out those? To me, they're core classes too. Why did they take those out of elementary?
That's why both my kids go to performing arts schools.
Yes, school.
But everyone is not able.
Exactly. And then it's like a lottery too. Like I'm like, Lord, please, I work at this school. Let my kids go here, so they can, go to this cool school. But I feel like that should be offered everywhere. Yeah. But y'all have money to build a new stadium for these. I'm not gonna say that. These children who can't read. They use emojis to write their papers to go play football or whatever. So, but you actually have these kids who actually have a true talent. Yeah. They can't get the funding for that. Come on, man.
Because we're putting our focus in the wrong place.
Wow.
Well, y'all said earlier that it's misallocation of funds.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
is that always the case when you have one school with a Chick-fil-A in it and a $4 million stadium, and the school down the street has a stadium that's been there since 1970 and has been refurbished? Is that where all the money's going?
It's also private sponsorships as well. You have to look at who can sponsor a school that is a Title I school and who sponsors those private schools. See, it's sponsorship. You have different levels of sponsorship.
That and the board too, right?
And the board.
Does geographical location matter?
Geographical location plays a big part in it.
I actually have a huge question about that. Okay, with a few of these schools, they're near, say, restaurants where teachers consistently go. Subways, Burger Kings, whatever.
Mhm.
I don't know who, maybe y'all know, who actually reaches out to these restaurants to even ask if they would sponsor these. Because I'm pretty sure if those teachers are consistently at these restaurants years at a time, that you could establish a relationship to where they can, hey, man, start fixing up the cafeteria. Come be in our cafeteria.
I had to go to, when I came back to my district I'm in now, my principal made all of the teachers, which I think was, at first I'm like, it's hot, but it was a great idea. She had all of the teachers go out to the different businesses and say, hey, look, we're an upcoming school and we need your help. And some of the, like, Sherwin Williams, yeah, they gave us some help. They gave us some furniture. Lone Star Community College, they came out and they gave free classes to the parents. So I'm like, yeah, so I feel like we do need some more footwork. We need, like, utilize social media. I mean, I know I do.
And that brings me back to the point, how can we get a Chick-fil-A? Because 9 times out of 10, that parent student attends that school that owns a Chick-fil-A. So why wouldn't that parent put a Chick-fil-A in school? Oh, we got a call. We got a call.
Yes, we got a call on the line. What it do, Carla? What it do?
Are you gonna use that mic?
Oh, we're gonna bring them into the mic.
I love, before I introduce the caller, I love the network I'm building, me and my partner Lisa. I love the network we're building, and this is part of the network. My Smoker's already met him. I don't know if Rich and Courtney's met him yet, but he fights for education. He fights for things like y'all are talking about.
I would love to.
So I know what he's about to say. He fights. If you have trouble with bullies, if you have trouble with the administrators or the teachers pestering your kids, or the administration kicking your children out of school, this is Sam Smith Consulting. He has an office right here in the suite, and he's on the phone right now. So Sam, how's it going, man?
What's up, bro? How y'all doing? My name is Sam Smith. Once again, I'm the owner of Cant Consulting Group, and I love the conversations that y'all having about the funding. I believe that all school districts should have the same funding for all schools. It doesn't matter if the school have the richest, highest kids. It don't matter if the kids is poor or not. I believe that the funding should be good. Like, I was just left HIV school board meeting tonight, and we were talking about funding. Like, one school have Starbucks, other school doesn't. I think if one school have Starbucks, all schools have Starbucks. That's the way I feel. Period. So I just want to put my 2 cents on that part.
Good. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that support. And you know what? And I totally agree with you. Jazz and I have worked at Title I schools since we've been our tenure of teaching. And I've been teaching over right at 15 years. And the one thing at our Title I school that our kids had to pay for out of our pockets or do fundraiser was a bus to a field trip. Those buses were $700, $600 to $700 each, that the school did not pay for. Wow. We had to fundraise. Title I school, if you know what a Title I school is, a lot of my kids were homeless. A lot of them were in shelters. A lot of them were in orphanages. So for you telling a kid to bring $25 for a field trip when they are on free and reduced lunch, but either that or they can't go, there's a big problem. If a child can't pay for lunch, how they gonna pay for a field trip just to get out of the neighborhood and get the education that we're pushing for them to have and the exposure, but they got to pay $25 that they don't have? Jazz, help me with this one, please.
That's crazy. Oh, that honestly, they kind of made me mad. Strictly because, well, Mom, you know how it was in Fifth Ward. Looking at everybody around us, seeing the kids going through whatever they're going through. Most of these kids, I can't even, I mean, they go hoop in the same clothes that they going to school in, the same exact shoes that is the same ones they finna wear on the court, sweating through and everything. What's up now?
Sam, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Want me to hang up?
Go ahead and give a plug to your business. Tell the community what you do, and we have to release the line.
Okay. So basically, I advocate for parents who have an issue with the school district. I had over 100 cases, never lost one yet. I'm working right now the one with all these for safety measures for Smith Elementary. I'm meeting with superintendent tomorrow regarding of that. So if anybody have any questions, you can reach out to me at 281-925-9648.
Say that again.
I say if anyone have any issues with schools issues, I represent teachers, parents, and students. So you can reach me at 281-925-9648. And also I have a meeting tomorrow with all the NIV superintendent regarding the safety issues at Smith Elementary tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you.
Sam Smith Consulting. You can follow him on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you for calling in, Sam.
What is it called? Let's go.
See.
What?
And he's going just to talk about all those things that basically a lot of the safety stuff, the things on safety kids.
I feel like I would love to go and support him on that one though. I feel like it needs to be a whole family. I feel like not one voice isn't enough.
Well, you heard me advocate for the parents. So that means the parents have actually said something to him about this for him to have been building up an entire case.
Because what's bothering my soul is that school was built in 1968. Okay, they have still the same panels from 1968, but y'all finna go build a whole new stadium.
But you have to look at it. They have to meet certain qualifications and specs. And if they miss that spec number by 0.01, they only get renovated, not torn down and rebuilt. So there are it's a lot of red tape around everything that you need. Marcel, you were saying something when I spoke about funding and how I expect a child who has nothing to come up with $25. And you were saying something about Fifth Ward. Now, I don't want you to overlook the fact that a lot of these school children still have on $300 tennis shoes.
That part.
Okay, so let's go with that.
No, we can definitely look at that. I mean, but only a few, and we can talk about some kids, but the majority, that were there, it's a reason they have. The fact that people got to pay for lunch is still sickening to me in school, but it's the fact that these kids that are on reduced lunch, you literally see these kids coming to school dealing with something. We received the address. Because a kid had to get dropped off because they had missed the bus. The address that was on paper led to an abandoned apartment, completely abandoned. Wow. And it's just like, this is the address you have on file. You know that you have this address on file
because you put it there.
But if your kid in this instance needs to be dropped off, why? Who in their right mind? What bus driver? What teacher? What anybody is going to drop a first grader, second grader off to an abandoned apartment? We done seen the movies may make it look cool. What was it? Higher learning and all that. Making all you dealing with these kids are seriously in trouble in real life. And
we're ignoring them. We're not teaching them. We're not teaching them to think. We're not, you know what they're growing up with? Social media.
Yeah.
That's what they're, and it's so scary. It's very scary.
Honestly, that's what a lot of people are leaving. And like my wife.
Educated people.
Educated, yeah.
Oh, they're living
and
there.
I'm literally, I swear, I'm just in a space because I don't know anymore. Like I don't like what I'm teaching anymore. The whole push for social emotional learning. Okay, we should know to talk to the kids all sweet and be mindful of where they're coming from. But baby, look,
Doc Spiller, who is someone that I'm always listening to. He's like my inspiration. Him and Lady T, Queen T Spiller. They're the creators of a platform called Colors. The one he always does a Think and Grow Rich book study. And the one thing that he told us is in that study was, how can someone teach you how to be rich when they're not? When we're going to college, the only thing a college professor can teach you is what they know. And majority of them are not rich. I'm not saying that they don't have some other things going on, but they're not rich. So I feel like the college system is only teaching us to survive, because I have a master's degree, a bachelor's degree, and many certifications and I have more paper on my wall than I have in my bank account. That's a problem. when you have more degrees and certifications on your wall than money in the bank. And that's the part that a lot of professors really can't teach you. So at this point, I don't recommend, and this is me, a college professor. I teach, if you want to learn how to speak English, I can teach you. But if you want to know how to make millions, I don't have millions to teach you how to make millions.
And that's something very frustrating in my life. Well, it was, because I'm on track now, but I'm frustrated now for kids that are in school now, because with the education that I've put myself under, meaning, reading books and watching videos, I do a lot of studying the rich these days, because I'm like, we work too hard. I'm supposed to be rich by now.
Yes.
Why am I not?
Why am I not?
So I'm like, okay, I need to find out. So in the last 5 years, I've been studying. And what the thing is the system wants us to be slaves.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was
It's
saying
in the book.
when she said that. When you
Basically
working, you're either going to surrender or be a slave. I mean, or you're going to be a slave to the system.
You're going to be a slave to the system,
Finish your thought.
or you're going to master the system and make slaves. It's one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
That's in Think and Grow Rich.
It in the book.
It's in the book.
You're going to be one or the other, or you can be in between. They have the billionaire, they have the slave, they have the millionaire, they have middle class in the middle, then they have the millionaire. And the distinction between the millionaire and the distinction between the millionaire and the billionaire is the billionaire gets the millionaire paid. The millionaire can't get people paid. He has to, he pays salaries, yes, but I'm saying very seldom you're going to see a millionaire make another millionaire, unless that millionaire works his butt off. It can happen. It does happen every day. But I'm saying that billionaire
is making millionaires.
He's the one that's sitting up on the top of the mountain up there, creating other millionaires. He's giving them the game. That's the distinction that I'm reading in these books.
Absolutely.
And so I'm trying to get there, man. I'm tired.
It's a mindset.
I'm 52. I want to enjoy, but don't let me get on a tangent. I'm sorry. What I'm frustrated about the school system is I'm realizing now that I've been out of high school a long time, and college a long time. But the problem is that, like you've already alluded to, is they're teaching people how to be slaves. They're teaching you. What do they do? Everything
is a bail system.
You're allowed to go $30,000 into college debt, but you're not allowed to get a credit card for $30,000.
How about $90,000 in debt?
$90,000 in debt
with a master's degree.
What kind of shit is that? That ain't right. You're going to put me in debt, but you're not going to give me a way to get out of it.
And I'm a Title I teacher.
Debt to income ratio.
Baby.
And it's just nothing is forgiven. They keep talking about student loan forgiveness for teachers. I've been teaching almost 16 years and still owe $90,000, and I've taught at nothing but Title I schools.
That's because you thought about it wrong. When they said student loan forgiveness, we sorry you went to the school because we ain't teach you nothing.
We got a phone call.
But you gonna pay us. All right. We got a phone call for
on Bigo, low key.
Oh, snap. How you get a phone call on Bigo? They done updated some things?
Oh no, Jay. What's happening, my man? Yeah, we can hear you.
Hey, listen, I don't use the same ones, but the brother is right. And I want to tell you something. The main word that keeps us in perpetual slavery is us calling ourselves black. That's number one. When you call yourself a black race of people, you're calling yourself a beggar people. And then put you in a jurisdiction that means poor, useless, dead. Civil or truth, meaning you have no rights whatsoever. And nobody's going to come to your aid because you ain't claimed your nationality and birthright and who you are. Because you're not Negro, black, and colored for one thing. And when you accept that kind of concept, that means you don't have no rights to land, gold, silver, territory, because you're not claiming your forefathers and foreparents and your way of life for millions of years. And his sisters, like I'm listening to you, sister, you the key to this. You're the matriarch. And the matriarch, this is a matriarchal world. In this society, you have a womb of man. And when the spirits come through your womb of man, it claims the whole society for itself. And what the European has done is like, he psyched you, he tricked you at birth. And we've been sleeping for like 300 some odd years, right? Now we're waking up. I got to tell you, sister, we depend on you to bring it back. Because the brothers, we know they are our backbone, for one thing, and we got to support them. Now, the brothers talking right. They want you to be a slave forever, but you don't have to be. Y'all are Moors, M-U-U-R-S. Y'all should know who you are, and they stole your vast estate. They stole your real estate. And all this continent of North America belongs to all you brothers and sisters right now. All you have to do is claim your nationality birthright, claim your social security card, claim everything that they took from you at birth. Once you learn how to do that, you'll be able to do anything you want on this planet. That's what I want to share with y'all.
Hey, thank you so much for calling and talking to us. I appreciate that. Thank you for calling in.
I don't know what's going on. I can't hear you.
Grace.
All right, we'll get back into
Yeah, we're
it.
gonna definitely get back.
But
into it.
hey, no wait. He talking that talk, y'all.
Yeah.
He talking that.
Claim everything. Claim yours.
Hey, we'll talk about it after the show.
Claim it.
I hit that comment.
The pride isn't being taken in the schools no more, or the teachers, they hire anybody now. You have to have people who care about the job, and I feel like the schools need to always be worked on. They quick to say presence is everything. Why isn't it showed in the school? We barely get school supplies.
I 100% agree with
Bro, them school supply lists have gotten longer and longer, and they've been asking for things that ain't got nothing to do with class no more.
I'm not buying for the rest of the kids. I'm
But
buying
you know
for
what?
my kids.
The killing part is Title I schools are given supplies for the kids. They allotted money for supplies. Students should not have to buy supplies because the school is actually allocated funding for school supplies for the students.
I got a question real quick.
Yes.
You keep saying Title I schools.
Title I.
Is it more Title I schools
Yes.
Than anything within
Yes.
districts?
Yes.
Okay.
What is a Title I school?
A Title I school is where the students are in economically deprived areas. A lot of my students I have to speak of were homeless. These are Title I schools. A lot of my schools students were in orphanages. A lot of them were in states in an economical situation and a social situation that was very below standard. So those are Title I schools, and they allocate funding to support those type of schools. There is funding allocated for that. That's just a general term for Title I schools, because I'm not going to give you all the verbiage that they use because half of it I don't understand. But it's basically a school for the economically disadvantaged. That's why they allocate more funding for those schools. But it sure is strange none of our students benefit from those extra fundings. Jazz, can you help me?
Go ahead. You end up.
I just had a question because I was wondering, like, I always heard Title I, and originally I used to think that
It was a
top
good thing,
tier.
but something me too.
It's just the opposite.
I guess my question would be, what would be considered the top tier? Like, what title? What?
Oh,
That's a good one.
Oh, it's title like wards.
You know what? That's a good way to look at it. A top tier school, or you're more
Distinguished.
Texas
recognized
yes.
kind of.
So they would be like Title 6, Title 7.
It's no title. Title I is just, it means you're economically deprived.
So they just
so they just single that one out.
You don't pay school taxes.
So it's like the 5th ward and 3rd ward.
Yes, those are more the Title I schools.
And I think I'm gonna have to like go to Uncle Google on this one. Okay, so if a district is Title I, so that means the parents, they don't have to pay school taxes. So does that mean that's why the schools aren't upgraded?
You know, HISD is one of the richest
Yeah, but you know, it's like you got a north side, south side to HISD. I feel like there's like two different
taxes for Taxes are taxes.
Wow.
Everyone pays taxes.
So
and
why?
HISD has the most people paying taxes into their system. HISD is the largest and the richest school system.
Wait a minute.
couldn't
One
A
of
whole
the richest
a
schools.
whole district can be
I couldn't tell.
Yes.
be a Title I district?
Yeah, if need be,
So
but
the whole
but
district-
HISD
That's-
is not all of HISD is not Title I. We still have
Right,
our
that's what she was asking.
no. All of HISD is not Title I because you still have your law enforcement. You still have your Carnegie, which is I think number 3 school in the world.
Performance school.
Yeah, HSPVA. You have your
They're just
you have your higher performance schools that are not
It's-
But
Title
those
I.
are like
Ah,
private
okay.
institutions
Outside,
within the
though.
district,
Exactly.
right? Okay,
Those
so
kinda
they
like-
don't count then because
Yeah.
they're technically private schools.
But they're still in the
They
district.
still in theirs.
But
They're still-
in the district.
They're still in the
Oh,
district.
wow.
They're still a public school. You
But
just have
anybody
to
can't
meet,
go there.
right. You have to meet certain qualifications,
Oh, wow.
Wow.
You cannot.
Wow.
So there's
or
a
you
needle
must
in the
have certain
haystack.
funding, or you can get scholarships because Rhea, who attended HSPVA, was on scholarship. And Michelle, who's the diag I was talking about, she didn't have to pay anything, and Rhea went on to have a scholarship to Alabama. She's a Crimson Tide, I want to say.
But
Please,
wouldn't
Rhea,
that-
forgive me if I got it wrong because there's a lot of schools in Alabama. I'm
Crimson Tide?
sorry. Is she a Crimson Tide?
No.
What is she?
No, go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry,
Oh, no.
Rhea.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Sponsorship is very important. Location definitely matters. But again, it's not up to the board. It's up to the principals to start their school off how the school deserves to. Why don't the principals start off showing their school how much they love them or how much the school matters?
I've been pretty fortunate. The schools that I've worked at, especially the last school that I worked at before I started my college level education, that principal is awesome. We as a staff, we felt like we mattered. So I have to give it to you. Do have leaders, and I think she won Principal of the Year for that entire district. That's just how awesome she is. So I don't know, because we had a lot of community input. It was a lot. So I can't speak on that part of it. Jazz, I don't know if you've had a bad principal. Well, I guess she has.
I done
so.
heard some stories.
I heard the stories too.
Mhm.
I was ready to fight for you.
You know I heard the damn story.
Yeah, come on.
Y'all. You see what he said about? Oh, you already said that.
Aldina is.
Don't be trying to distract.
Oh, okay,
her.
Mr. Smith.
Baby, because listen, I think
Aldina
not just
is
go
the
off.
money. You want to read it out loud, Jazz?
Aldina has the money, but they only care about high performance schools.
Is that a valid statement?
I am not going to talk about
That good
Period.
move.
She pleads the fifth.
Beautiful.
Good move.
right?
F-I-F.
I need my job. Now, what I do hate, and I'm pretty sure all teachers feel the same way, I can't express how I feel. Like,
Yeah.
I can't say something without the scare of, oh, baby, you finna get fired, you hear?
And the thing
that
is,
bothers me, and like, I can't say what I want to say.
and it's so sad because we're 500, 800 teacher shortage. Who they gonna fire?
Because they are firing teachers because of their TikToks. And so I've really slowed
For
down.
what?
I'm like,
Why? When that's what the
TikTok.
students.
Like, y'all act like
No.
it's like people beating down the door to become a teacher.
But we have senators twerking for votes.
Yeah, no,
But you're
thank
firing
you.
a teacher over a TikTok.
Yes.
And most of the TikToks have helped the students more. You remember, Marcel, you wrote me a Wabu rap years ago
Yes.
where I taught the
Yes,
subordinate conjunctions.
I remember that.
And I can I perform it or no?
None of your business. Do you?
Okay.
And make it big.
So this is a Wabu rap that Marcel and I wrote my first year teaching back in 2008. It was back in 2008, and it was called the Wabu rap. And it's where I teach the subordinate conjunctions. And we use the Ice Cube beat because I love Ice Cube. And I love Pop. That's why I wanted to sit right here by Pop.
Mm-hmm.
We use the Ice Cube beat. Today was a good day. And as it started, I kind of, come on, Marcel, I didn't want it too fast and I didn't want it too slow. So it was Wabu, 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 yeah. Wabu, 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 yeah. When, as, because, until. That's why, boo, keep the words in your grill. Whenever, after, before, unless, Know these words, they show complex. Wow. Although, than, if, since, though. That's why teased act like you know. They're subordinating transition complex words. Don't get it twisted with nouns and verbs. Why boo, why tease, yeah. And we started it over. What they needed to know what these were subordinate conjunctions, subordinating. They were transition word, transition, and they made complex sentences, complex words. Don't get it twisted with nouns and verbs. And I made that rap. And that rap, I found out, just started getting hits. And I made that rap in 2008. Wow. So I love teaching, as you see. I just kind of got into it. And I did prepositions. I can go through all 23 prepositions with a Christmas song. This is why my students did what they did. That's why they can write a complex sentence, a compound sentence, a compound complex sentence. They can break a sentence down. They know the conjunctions. They know the fanboys, which are coordinate conjunctions, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. These are things that I have taught for so many years. And now I feel like I'm stifled because I have all this knowledge in me and I have no one to give it to.
Oh, you gave it to me because I was sure writing.
No,
I was writing everything.
I have
from poetry
no one.
around.
So I thank you all for this platform because now I feel like someone is hearing my voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then also you have those Missy Marys.
I let you speak on that. Oh,
and
but
run with it. So it's like I feel silenced too unless I'm out of the game. Like there are a lot of popular teachers, like popular TikTokers who literally had to leave. Like this one lady literally made a TikTok of her leaving the classroom, and now she's speaking about it. But I'm like, I'm not ready to leave the classroom. I have so much to offer.
I wasn't either, but I had to do it for my health. The only reason I left is because last year my blood pressure shot up to almost went into a stroke.
Oh yeah, me too.
It shot up twice, and my husband said enough. So that's the only reason. Go ahead.
I have two things to say. Number one, when you was doing the rap, that was awesome, by the way. But why was he sitting over there like he don't know none of the words?
He know the word.
I don't.
You wrote it. But see, I've been teaching it for so long.
Wait a minute. Okay, so she came in, Courtney, you would understand this.
She
came in at 2008 during my beginning. Now, I can't even say beginning into the music, but during the time me and Marcus all the time doing music. So as me writing song after song after song, she told it. She busts in my room, write this. Write this. You got not a day. You got a few hours.
Right now.
Right now.
Are you up for the challenge?
And I want it to be about Waboo. And my biggest question, I don't know what a Waboo is.
I'm about to say, what is Waboo?
So when she started off the whole Waboo, I didn't write none of that. She incorporated with the beat. So, okay, the only part I remember, when, as, because, until. And after that, I went to a whole other song. I was working on the song when I wrote it. Like
you forget as soon as you finish the song, you don't remember it till you like play it back or hear it again.
I wasn't expecting it to take off in the school like it did. I thought she was literally just using it for her class, strictly for your class. I wasn't expecting the teachers be like, "Oh, we're gonna use this for the school for good." Like I should got paid.
Wow.
I feel like, hey, man, that's a hit song I just wrote for your school because that's going to get bigger.
I feel like music is a great way to teach. There's this teacher, John Patrick, I believe is his name, and I am correct about that. He's an artist as well. He's a rapper. He makes music, but he's made like so many different science songs. Like teaching speed equals distance divided by time, but actually like rapping it, and the kids were like learning it. And it was like I saw he put on Instagram like he actually had a meeting with like the different teachers in his school proposing a new song, but it was something that the kids could learn to. I thought that was so creative because songs, first of all, have gotten shorter over time. We've already talked about children's attention spans getting shorter, right? So how do we find a way to actually get them to comprehend what we also talked about, what they're saying? Now, that doesn't always work, but I think like when teachers try to get more creative, there's a sense of ridicule there because you're trying to do something that is new, but because you're actually with these students, you can actually it's like because you're with them, you know how to connect with them versus the people trying to tell you what you're supposed to teach them.
Or you're doing something to be famous on Twitter. I think that was the biggest thing that bothered my soul.
And I'd be glad when you get to my point.
I'm
and like,
here like
I could care less.
Like,
Twitter famous, like for
I
clout.
could care
so
less.
I'm trying something different. I'm using different ways to get the kids excited because technology is never going anywhere. It's going to keep upgrading, and we're going to have to implement it. So I'm using it. Girl, you doing it? Oh, you just trying to be seen on Twitter. Girl, I'm trying to get the kids to pay attention because this book is not helping. So let's wow them. Let me go ahead and put on a fun dress. And if we're talking about mountains, I'm going to wear a dress. I'm going to wear a mountain dress. Or I'm going to wear a rock or something to get the kids excited about what I'm teaching because why not?
Now that works. And I can honestly say at the school, she's known as like the Black Miss Frizzle. Seriously, I'm not making that up.
The school bus,
the fun teacher.
The school bus, because she will with her, especially. And I asked her, baby, you need to go back down to elementary kids because at middle school is the middle schools that we were teaching at Title I. Now I know they was us in middle school. And so these kids know the songs. They cursing. It's kids coming up to me talking about Young Boy.
Miss King. Okay, can I read my little?
Go ahead, your business.
Mrs. King, this is my first year working with life skills. Oh, congratulations. I've never worked with life skills, but okay, I've helped out here and there before, but I'm a little nervous only because I'm not with kids. I'm with adults, all 18 to 22. Okay, that's a bit different. But they have kid-like minds, absolutely. So I'm trying to see how can I treat them like adults, but be mindful that they have a mind of a kindergartner or first grader. I don't want to be afraid because I love all kids. Just have to treat special education with different type of love. And you're absolutely right. The one thing that I always teach is you approach and teach the person where they are mentally. Mm-hmm. If they're mentally on first graders, you treat them like first graders. I mean, because that's where they are. They aren't 18 to 22-year-olds mentally. They are 5 to 7-year-olds mentally. So you treat them as such. With the kind words, the loving spirit, because one thing about humans, it doesn't matter the state of mind. Humans function just like normal animals on instinct. Kids know when something is off, and they know when something is authentic. So that is my advice to you. Thanks for the question.
Wow, that's
first person up here answering questions logically.
Okay, and also Marcel, you said something. Yes, you did, and I'm so glad you brought that up. And you said something about one thing that I learned. Oh, okay. I'm trying to think of what you said. The way kids learn cognitively. You also asked that question as well. If we just go back to the basics, and this is what I tell a lot of teachers that I've trained a couple of teachers, and they're awesome, by the way. They're awesome. I can't name them, but they're doing really, really good now. And I'm so glad I had the opportunity to work with a lot of novice teachers. But the one thing that I always instill in a lot of teachers I'm training, the game hasn't changed, just the players. That means education has not changed. That's why the kids are so stagnated now, and the education has to change to keep up with the times. But the way a person learns doesn't change. The first thing we teach our children in school, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. What are we doing? We're singing. Mm-hmm. So our minds function in rhythm. Mm-hmm. Rhythm. When you're learning a phone number, 713-229-8054. You're going to learn 334. That's patterns.
281-330-8004.
That is how our minds function.
That's how I learned best.
Exactly. And another thing, Courtney, and this is just me being me. I love what I do, you all. I love teaching. When you're saying a story, this is how I was able to teach writing, and my kids score so well in writing. When I'm describing something, I don't see THEREAL. When I say the real talk, the first thing coming in my mind is a symbol. Is that emblem. our minds function in images.
Yeah.
We don't see words. So when we're writing, I tell them, imagine I'm walking with a dog. What else can I do? Oh, Miss King, you can be skipping with your dog. All right. How big is the dog? You can be skipping down the street with a big orange dog. Well, what breed is it? Oh, you can be skipping down the street with a big orange red Rottweiler. Oh, was he mean? Was he growl? Oh, Miss King, you could be skipping down the street with a big red Rottweiler who was growling. Oh, what were the other people doing? Now we're building. Now that is how I teach. We don't think in words. We think in images. When teachers can understand that, allow the kid to misspell everything on their paper as long as that story is there. I can work with the words, but I cannot get the ideas. If they can take their ideas from here and put them on paper, you have a writer. Because I can work with what's on paper. I can't work with what's up here. I digress.
I wish you was my teacher. Because let me tell you. Okay, as an artist, right, I'm very particular with how I create music. I have a very artistic, always on go mind, and I have a hard time focusing.
I raised one of them.
Be here with each other. But like someone asked me, like, sometimes how do I create music? And I was trying to explain to them, it's like I see colors and vibrations. Mm-hmm. It's like I know the words. I can't see the words, but the words are in me already, but they're coming to me through different images or feelings.
That's how we think.
And so it's great that you actually embrace imagination, because I think that is a major thing. People think one thing and that's it. And that problem is because there's a lack of imagination. We can't think and process beyond the basic things that we know. And if I had somebody to tell me, because it's like I learned to do that though once I got to college, actually writing real essays. And my teacher, I had this one professor who got on me about my writings, and she was like, Courtney, you have it. Go in details now.
I loved you.
Yes, like you were the type of teacher that I needed, because I've always struggled with actually processing what's here and being able to communicate it.
Yeah. Now you understand why. Most teachers can't understand why.
Why?
Because they don't know how students think. We go to college, we learn to look at the brain, and then we were once children. It's funny, a child can sit up here and rap every song to a Tupac lyric, but can't spell his name.
Facts.
That's the one.
Facts.
So that's an issue. Children can learn anything. Oh, that's too young. He can't learn that. But he can grab between his pamper and cuss you out.
They're smarter than you think.
So don't ever say what a child cannot do. Ever. And they mimic. I call it the parrot syndrome. They mimic what they see. So teachers are constantly modeling. That's why I adore Jazz and her Miss Frizzle dresses, and because she's always modeling. She's a teacher. Thank you.
I like seeing your Instagram post, Jazz. I do. They're like a little smile in my day, because you always do something random, and it'd be random moments when I hop on Instagram just to see what's going on, and there you go with something inspirational, but like very lighthearted, like for the kids.
Thank you, because I really tried. I know we went into like an hour and a half of just
so that's why I was trying to change the subject.
Really,
so hard.
Honestly, education. For me, it's the best thing ever. I pretty much, the reason I'm a teacher is due to my grandmother. She was a Sunday school teacher. But then also, and this is the first time this has ever come out, but it's due to my 7th grade teacher, Miss Meekum. I wanted to be Miss Meekum so bad. Like, she would come to school with just clothes like this, and her hair was like really, really frizzy. She was mixed too. So I'm like, okay, you cute or whatever, but whatever. So she would come to school just not normal, like everyone else was wearing their, back in the day when teachers wore pantsuits and she actually came with flair, and I'm like, dang, and her classroom was just so engaging, and the students had, they took lead on things, and I felt like that's when I really started to find my little voice, my little Jasmine voice. But I don't know. I try my best, but that was in HISD, Title I.
It was just the opposite for me. So, I wanted to be the teacher that I never had.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be that
because I had
teacher.
A few teachers.
See, and that made me think of like the teacher. It's like the teacher you're speaking of left an impression. I had like 2 of those teachers. Well, 4 of those teachers in my entire life. 2 in high school, 2 in college. And it's so interesting, like as a student, just since y'all are teachers, right? I'm not on the educational side. I wanted to be a history professor though. That's what my passion really is in dissecting history.
I'm gonna be honest.
I love history.
And that's awesome because my husband is a history buff. He loves it. But when I liked it until I actually found out the truth.
Okay, so that is why I decided not to get my teaching certification because I knew that I would not adhere to the curriculum because I'm finna tell everything. And in the very first history professor that I had in college, it was just basic history course. Literally told me, everything you was told in history up until this point, forget it because it's not the truth.
It's not the truth.
And once that professor told me that, bro, in August of 2012, man, I did some research and was like, these lies. I can't keep spreading these lies.
But history is a total lie. And it was hard to teach because I taught social studies only 1 year last year. And it was very difficult for me to teach. I think I was on the phone with her almost every day.
Yes, Lord.
I was like, Jazz, this curriculum for history is not the truth. And so we couldn't teach the truth because we couldn't talk about this. And
it's a lot of go back down.
I actually wanted to tap into that before we actually finish. So for one, when it came down to history, I want to say history, I don't want to absolutely call it a lie because history, break down the word, is his story. And they tell you it's multiple sides to every story. We get the side that the most famous person told.
We get the victors.
We get the victor because the person who got shot probably had the truth. And they probably would have told the story completely different from what was taught. But before that, Clarissa actually dived into something I wanted to tap deeply upon. It says, one thing I learned is that they have paraprofessionals, which I am so happen to be one of, which are assistant teachers, but we can't teach or anything in that nature. I was told that it is a risk for the school for us to try and teach the kids. It's because we don't have the label of a teacher. How am I supposed to learn to be comfortable teaching, but I can't apply the skills in the classroom? And half the teachers don't even use their paras.
Baby, you in the wrong district. Marcel, tell them what school you went to. I'm sorry.
Now, speaking on behalf of doing the whole from sub to paras, truthfully, it's not that she was right about the teachers originally. Some of the teachers are young. You said the brain doesn't develop until it's all the way 25.
That's when the reasoning part of the brain develops.
I'm working with somebody who's 10 years under me, and I'm 33, so they're 23. They're still having parts of their brain still developing.
That is correct.
And with him having to go in here with kids, me having kids and dealing with kids before, he's never done. He doesn't have kids, and this is his first year teaching. So to sit back and kind of see the differences in that, he uses me. I can say he does use me because everybody can tell the difference. Like when I say something, I am the father figure in there. I'm the one who's going to assert a certain power inside the room that he has not developed yet as a person.
Just as a father, kids are kids.
But I was told this in the school that I am not allowed to teach. I am to give the kids their work, and they're already supposed to know it. And this was after I started teaching in a class that had been closed for almost a year.
How the kids going to know something they were never taught? I was told that,
hey, give them the work, and that's it. Now, I'm not going to, how Courtney said, I'm not going to tap in too much on, down here. I ain't going to pop the balloon, but she's absolutely right. And these are top dogs in the school. Certain administrators will tell the paras, even no matter how good I am at it,
you can't do it.
You shouldn't be teaching. Well, why'd you put me here? What, you want me to put on a movie every day?
Wow.
What do you want me to do? And so the kids are coming out wondering why they got to go to summer school in my class It's because I didn't have to give you any work.
See, and I feel like the teachers that actually care deal with the most strife. Like
we just quit. And I can't do it. I want to do it so bad. I want to do a tutorial service. I want to open a school. I want to do it.
Mm-hmm. And that's what we should do.
Yeah, we don't see all the comments.
I seen something. I really
the school's not doing it the right way.
Do you want to change the way our children are being taught? Oh, that's not.
Oh, yeah, no. Sorry. No, that's what we originally dived in on comprehension, which I feel we really need to dive into because I feel like that's going to be kind of the
comprehension is so broad. When that's why I was like, you said that, I'm like, what
it's
that's
like
when you're teaching, like everybody. I have a saying. I'm sorry, and I got you, Courtney, on this.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I have a saying that I tell to my kids. It's not. I'm sorry. I messed it up because I have it written down in the gym. But it's not that you can't do anything. It's just that you have to learn a different way. That's what it is. It's not that you can't. It's just you have to learn a different way. So that's what I meant with the students. You said, and so many kids you have are even deaf. Some of them can't even teach. I mean, can't learn maybe just, hey, 1 + 1 is 2. Maybe they have to learn that, hey, if I put this here and put this here, how many items do I have?
You remember, Marcel, when I helped you with your math homework?
Fractions. Never forget that. I did not understand that.
No, it was a good experience for him because I'm pretty good at math. But the way I taught him eliminated all the extra stuff. So he was able to actually see how to get to the answer. And so once I taught him using shortcuts. The shortcuts for him were the unnecessary steps. I
hate unnecessary steps.
And I know how my son thinks. So he goes to school, makes a 100, but the teacher only gave him a 50, and I couldn't understand why.
He didn't show his work.
He didn't show his
work.
Her work.
Like I showed the way that I did it, but she didn't like the way that I did it.
And my question to her was, will he be judged according to showing his work on the STAR test or the answer? The answer, well, according to his answer, he made a 100. So why did you give him a 50? And like he said, he didn't show his work her way. So to me, they've made it to where it's only one way to skin a cat in school. It's not multiple ways to solve a problem. And I have an issue with that. I digress.
Y'all got me feeling guilty up in here because I went through that. But who was it? I think it was Smoke said,
talking about the kids, I don't have to teach them very much.
You don't have to teach them. These kids come home, man. I'm talking about me and Lisa met 8 years ago. Her kids. I'm accustomed to kids coming home, maybe getting a sandwich or something to eat, and sometime during the night doing some homework. I'm there 2 years and I ain't seen a book. I ain't laptop studying for a spelling test.
But homework has been proven not to improve education. I never gave homework. Go ahead, I digress.
Homework saved my behind.
That's because of extra credit work.
Because no. Well,
it's the extra practice. It didn't.
Extra credit.
Because
extra credit.
Because the thing that saved me, the thing that saved me was notes, because the teachers when they taught me, we having a test tomorrow. We're having a test tomorrow, and if you didn't take notes, you stuck out. You stuck out. I'm not teaching you nothing else. So I would write, and I would be up at 5 o'clock in the morning. The bus didn't come till 7. I'm up studying so I could pass this test. But my point is,
now it's just a click.
My point, a click now. My point is that I'm getting on the kids' behinds saying, Lisa, I ain't seen a book in 2 years.
We don't have books.
What's going on? I ain't a laptop. I ain't seen nothing. What's going on? So they was telling us though, Malcolm, they hand us a piece of paper and say we supposed to know it already. And I'm saying, okay, I've heard this before, but I heard this about, if I took Algebra 1 in 8th grade, I should know algebra, at least the basics of Algebra 2 my sophomore year. I understand that.
Right.
But they're saying, no.
They just get a syllabus.
Yeah. And I'm saying, man. So anyway, that's one point. And the other point was to Ms. King, My memory's terrible. You was talking about something else that made me feel bad. I think not being able to teach. I forgot what you were talking about, but
I was helping him with his homework. That's what I was saying.
Helping with homework and not showing work.
Yes.
My own child. This is not Lisa's kids. My own child comes home. She says, "Dad, I need help." At the time, she was about, I think it was her junior year, I believe it, at Spring High School. "Dad, I need your help with this math problem." I said, "Okay, no problem. But I showed you this already." I know, Dad, but they're teaching us this certain way, and I don't know how to do it. The math problem, man, was this long.
Yep.
Yeah.
On a piece of paper.
Yep.
You know, I'm exaggerating. You know, ain't no piece of
Yeah,
paper.
I know, but I know what you mean.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, what is all that? You know, it was something like, 1,026 times 800. Something like that. Well, they made her go and write triangles and go all.
Yeah, that's like, the new math.
So I said, man,
I don't know that.
So here I am.
I showed him the basic.
So here I am. I have her crying because I'm like, man, F that. You not doing all that. You finna do the shortcut. You finna do this. You finna do
and
that.
the answer's right.
And the answer's right. Boom, 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 boom. That is, Daddy, I can't do that, or they gonna fail me. I'm like,
that is correct.
What is you talking about?
That's messed up.
That is correct.
They gonna fail me. So she's sitting there, and I'm mad now because it's midnight.
Yeah.
I've been at work all day. Man, what you now I done turned into daddy. I'm not a teacher. You gonna listen to me. This is how you gonna do it. You gonna do it just like I told you to do it. And the whole time she just like,
but they gonna fail me for doing it this way, right?
Yeah, they gonna fail me. And I didn't know. I had no idea, but I believed about when I seen them tears. I was like, ah.
That's where the teacher parent connection really. She said it. A few parents, you might have a few parents that's gonna call. Hey, you know what's going on with my child? I come up there. Personally, I would love for them to bring back like the daddy-daughter dances and stuff because I would enjoy going up to the school with my daughter to dance for that. Like me and Jay, I forgot, but I've been to one. Yeah, you know, I enjoy that for my child.
When I did the etiquette training, I'm also an etiquette coach as well.
Correct. But that right there would get the. I guess speaking just as a father, I know the dances, just some to kind of give the kids that good vibe that they're welcome in the school. Like it's not just you don't just have to come here. Just like a phone call is always bad news. You don't just have to come to school in the system like, hey, I'm here to learn, then I'm going home. Here to learn. Come. You here all day. Might as well have at least a day of fun, something.
Okay. And I truly agree with that. School should be fun. And
it used to be.
It used to be. I had students at my current school, always one of the APs, I was teaching social studies. They was like, all right, y'all can talk right now. Y'all better hurry up. Because after a while, y'all gonna have to go to class. And it made me feel so good. My students say, oh, we going to Miss King, so it don't matter. It was like, that means we're gonna have fun regardless. So, and I felt so good when my students said that because that's the teacher I always wanted to be. Now, I don't know. I'm in a transition. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be. So I'm still trying to find.
I mean, you're not where you want to be, but you're in a better position. So it's one thing to where you was where you wanted to be.
Oh, I was.
You was exactly where you wanted
I really
to be,
was.
and you went up a step. I mean, you can't help it. It's either God pushing you up or you like, oh, you gonna fall.
No, I'm gonna keep
pushing. Yeah,
I'm gonna keep
pushing. Because the world gonna keep going. It's gonna keep advancing. So it's never gonna keep you in one place.
All right.
You can't be good at something this long and stay right there. That's what I keep telling my wife here. You're going to continuously be good at this. They can't stop you from being this Jazz right here. You the one girl, lady with the dress. They can't stop you from being this person. If you consistently be this person and dive in at this one thing you want, you're going to get it. Everything else is right now. Okay, yes, in the way it's like flies at the barbecue. Just go up the next step to what you want.
It's again.
Yeah, God just gonna keep handing you blessings.
They can grow rich.
You're not gonna be comfortable with them because it's a different set of success, but you will get comfortable with their success.
Think and grow rich. Jazz, I digress.
Can I answer this question?
Yes.
What's the top 3 things you love when you're in school? Going to camp, school pizza, and recess.
That pizza was dope.
I have to say, I love
Camp, like
Like
actual
Camp.
camp.
Yes.
I ain't do that. I don't know.
And one experience, which I wish we could have done that now, but in the 6th grade, it was still considered elementary. We went to Washington, D.C. for 5 days.
Wow, that was
5 days.
awesome.
And I'm like, we could never do no mess like that. We can't go past the street.
Girl, you
know,
can't
like now.
You can't.
But
Walk the
going
kids
to camp, I feel like I'm so grateful.
I think that we
grew
can.
up in a certain era because they couldn't do that now. Like I was never, touch none of that, because I didn't send my child over there. People be doing the most. My mama didn't have that problem back then. Like I was gone for 5 days. It was beautiful. Had fun, canoeing.
I went to Camp Color.
Never been to camp. The furthest I went was the city zoo with the Girl Scouts. We spent the night.
Oh, you a Girl Scout?
I was a Girl Scout.
Oh my God, come on.
I was slanging cookies back then.
Yes,
I was the cute little girl with the dresses and the ruffle socks with the pigtails. Right? So you know what I'm saying? Get all the money from them. Yeah, that was me.
Well, I grew up with 5 boys, so I was an honorary Cub Scout.
Okay.
All right. I'm just letting y'all know. I grew up with 5 boys. Felix right there, Alec, Lawrence, and Tiny. And then it was me. We were Jackson 5 and Janet Jackson. You couldn't tell us anything.
But you modeled as well, though, too.
Oh, I modeled for years.
Oh, that's all you gonna say on it. So you can talk about the King Talk. I'm sorry, I don't want to say TED Talk. So was it Tish Talk?
Tish Talks. Yeah, I'm getting ready to start a Tish Talk.
I'm comfortable saying that first word because
just Tish Talk.
Like Mama any talk. Like any other black child, I'm literally scared to say my mama's first name.
Man, I be playing with my mama all day long. I love you, mama.
But it's like the police.
I play with her all day long.
I feel like if I say my mama name for real to her, it's just like the police sitting behind me, like I messed up.
Nah.
Well, like, that was when you were little.
You gotta run.
That was when you were little, because I'm mom. I'm always
I don't care.
mama.
I'm gonna be 80, mama.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Mama.
Because when you 80, that means I'm 20 years older than you. I'm 100. So
we'll make it.
Yeah, these kids today, that's another subject that's sore to me. These kids today will call their parents by their first name.
I'm not your friend.
And I'm like,
and that was my first.
That would have got my lips slapped off.
And even as a teacher, and it kind of, for the newer teachers, I am old school, and some teachers gonna argue with me, but I am old school. I am Mrs. King. There has to be I'm not your friend. That is always my introduction. Hello, class. I'm Mrs. King. I am not your friend. I will never be your friend. I don't have 12-year-old friends. I can go to jail for that. I have 30.
Serious,
that is what I tell my kids. So don't come to me like you're my friend. I'm gonna put you back in your place. The line is very clear with me and my students. So my students know, okay, I can go here, but I know when I go here, I better get back, because if Miss King can reach me, she's gonna snatch me.
We got paddled in school.
It's
yeah.
I'm gonna say something.
And I do have a blue card where I can restrain a child. I am licensed to do that. So I'm just letting you all know there has to be a distinguished line. And I think that's what's wrong with a lot of schools, because that line is so blurred. Oh, we're just friends. No, I'm never your friend. But I'm always your teacher. If you need anything, if you need school clothes, if you need school supplies, if you need something to eat, that's a teacher.
That's respect.
License to restrain children.
You gotta get one.
You have to get one.
Because baby,
if a kid running out to in the street, and you grab that child and you don't have a license,
the parent,
you're gonna catch hell.
Yeah, going to jail.
So why aren't all children?
Why should I
interrupt
God's
teachers
plan?
Licensed?
The question is,
wow.
Let's look at the educational system. I have no idea.
Y'all for real right now?
They told me that.
NCI training.
Yes.
They told me that coming into PE because
you have to
some
be
of the
licensed.
kids have behavior issues. And especially in PE, and I see these kids that'll tell you straight up, well, I don't care. And
they teach you everything, how to take
them
down.
I don't care, but they just like, dog, if you put your hand on this kid without having that license, you going to jail.
If the child can be choking you, hitting you in your face and everything, you have to say, calm down.
You have to block and calm down.
You have to block. You can't restrain.
You got to dodge and calm them down. Hey, chill out.
So is the license too expensive for most teachers?
No, it's free. It's free training. It's a training.
So do they know?
So why?
Yes.
Well, no, wait a minute.
They don't
because
need
a
it
lot
for
don't know. Me coming into a paraprofessional position, I did not know.
Oh, because I was in special
told.
ed. I had to get.
Yes, in special ed, it's
Special
another
ed.
case.
And I was a coach.
Get
And
your blue card, Clarissa. Get your blue card.
Facts, but
Working
that's for
special
anybody
education.
coming in.
Just tell your principal they are set it up. They offer these classes every year. I think 3 or 4 times a year.
What's it called?
It's just to restrain a child. What is it called? NCI. NCI. And
it,
also, every teacher is not certified to do CPR. Because I was a coach, I was certified to do a CPR. Every teacher is not certified to work the defibrillator. Thank goodness I worked at a hospital. I'm very familiar with how a defibrillator works. So there is a lot in teaching. It's more to teaching than just getting in front of a classroom and putting grades in and taking attendance. It's a lot more.
Good job.
No,
good, Clarissa. You have your blue card. Good.
It's a smart thing to have Malcolm within that system because they're right. Some of these kids, and Clarissa even brought it up earlier that since they're hiring a lot of younger teachers, that these cats are just not coming out of school and going straight into trying to do something with a child. Now, don't get me wrong, us as parents, because I had previous experience with kids way before I went into the system. It was nothing. For me to go in because I know how to handle a Title I people because these were my friends. I know how to talk to them, know how to handle them. Now I'm fine. But these new teachers coming in, no blue card, coming from certain suburban areas, we deal with that. Coming from certain suburban areas, trying to deal with kids that ain't got nothing too much to lose.
Yeah,
that's why we have a teacher shortage. You're pushing all these new teachers from these good areas that need to be at these schools where they're safe. I'm serious. They need, because if you don't know how to teach this child, you're dealing with a child that has already a bunch of mental issues, that's already dealing with something at home. Just like she said, Title I, these kids homeless, these kids are living in poverty. These kids, you can't come talking to them like they're privileged like you.
It's called cultural awareness.
It's the
and that's what the cultural awareness. Look it up.
I saw a book, didn't I?
It's cultural awareness. They teach it in college. Cultural awareness is knowing how to approach students with different backgrounds.
But they have a book in the school.
But they're not teaching it. There's no training.
It wasn't no teaching. This caught my interest. It was a literal book.
Read it.
How what is it called? How pretty much a white teacher can connect with black students.
And it was funny, Marcel. Can I tell this story? And it hits on that. I worked in a predominantly white school a couple of years back. It's predominantly white, and I was okay with that because children are children, and of course, I got the best Christmas gifts. But anyway, I was sitting with some teachers because at the time I was teaching dyslexia, and I was an ESL lead at that time. And we were putting a program or some lessons or something together. And the subject came up about an urban child and this white teacher. I'm going to say Anglo because that's the word they use in history. This Anglo teacher was trying to teach this African-American child. And the child was rebelling and the teacher didn't know what to do. It took 2 seconds for me to say something to that child, and that child responded. Farrakhan said something about people. He said, when you take a group of people and you uproot them from where their natural heritage is, and you turn them upside down and you give them your language, your clothing, your religion, everything is yours, there is something off balance.
Not as receptive.
It's not as receptive. Because a lot of things that a lot of students go through, a lot of Anglos can't comprehend because they've never experienced it.
It's a cognitive
it's a cognitive disconnect, a cultural awareness that is not there. And it's so sad because it hurts our babies. Again, that's why I said our teachers, we need to get a hold of this educational system. Because our babies are not going to make it. I digress.
Oh my goodness! Now that's what makes it honestly scary. Like it's so many kids. Like it's a lot, It's a lot of kids in there, and only to know that out of these, let's just say out of every 80, only 3 maybe probably actually have a chance of doing something in life. And you knowing this as you teaching these kids. The fact is, I see a lot of parents through these kids. The one thing I'm loving about teaching these younger kids is because they don't have their own personalities, they have their parents' personalities. They come in there as their actual parents. I done seen little girls 5 and 6. First of all, and this, and I'm like,
we do what we see.
You know, like I'm seeing this.
And see, parents think that's cute.
You're not gonna be talking to me like this. First of all, you ain't my dad. I'm not trying to be.
You know what I miss, Marcel? When that teacher say, I'm gonna call your mama. I miss students breaking down crying like, ma'am, please just don't. You know what I get? Call my mama. And then
she don't care.
It's like, what do we do? Because Marcel knew, don't call my mama.
Facts.
He knew.
I forged the signature. I ain't gonna even front to that. I got whooped for forging so many signatures, man.
Man, you too?
Man, when I say she was working next door to the school.
I did not.
Man, look, how about I tried to be slick and forge my mama's signature. I was in 1st grade in HISD.
How you gonna forge? You can barely hold a pencil.
Oh no, my mama let you know I'm a left-handed and I got pretty cursive, and I was writing pretty back then too.
Yep.
And I forged her signature.
Left-handed.
And ironically, the next day, my mama randomly decided to walk me to the classroom, and the teacher asked about the paper. I had to pull the paper out the backpack and show her. I already signed it. You ain't even had to work, man. I got my butt beat, man. I'm talking about she told me up for
What
that.
happened to those parents?
My old man.
They don't exist.
Lack of care.
Wait a minute.
My old man would not allow administration to paddle me.
I did.
When it was time to get paddled,
You
he
had
was coming.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I got both.
You got paddle at school and at home?
I got both.
Well, I was an athlete, so I got pops at school, but I didn't have to call. Well, you know, my mom had lupus most of my high school career, so my mom was in and out of the hospital. And I still, you know, thank God that she put enough in me at 16, 17 to graduate with honors and go on to college. So that was something, but still that fear. Even I knew she was in the hospital. I knew.
Yeah,
I knew.
I would break down because his swatch was harder than
his
the principal.
swatch. Ooh, good word.
Hey.
Yeah, he
She beat me with words. Do you hear her talking? I didn't understand none of that. I started crying just from words I didn't understand at the time because I knew I was getting a whooping for something I truly don't understand. But I know that big word she used means exactly what I did.
Exactly.
So you can't fight it. You were being so insubordinate. I'm in the 2nd grade. I don't know what an insubordinate is.
You can tell by the tone.
But I got a whooping for being insubordinate.
It was definitely
insubordinate.
It was like I said, you deliberately disobeyed me. First of all, I don't know what deliberately is.
I was not.
You're not gonna talk to me with some deliberates.
I was not that bad. I really wasn't.
Pop, I pray you watching the show because he knows. She'll start coming up with words that'll make you feel like that. You can't win the argument. You can't win the argument because you need time to go look up the word she used.
That's not true.
Okay. We're gonna talk to Pop.
I use every day. You don't do that. Marcel, I use it.
She
why you
is
sitting over
worse
there?
than Nas with the dictionary.
Hey, T.I.?
I think she do get one
Oh, I would
word
love
a
to have a
day.
conversation with Tiny and T.I.
Oh my God.
Yes.
That is definitely.
She would understand everything T.I. say. Expeditiously.
I wish he wouldn't have passed. I would have loved to have spoken to him.
Who?
Tupac. Okay.
Well, she over there.
Before
that's about the 3rd time.
Before we wrap up, I wanted to tap in real quick with you. You said that you were an etiquette coach.
Yes.
So is this what Legacy Charm School is?
Yes, Legacy Charm School is a platform that was created back in 2015. But that was a platform where I actually did a charm and etiquette course at my church, and it was very successful. And it's kind of funny because I had more of the deaconess, the more seasoned deaconess as students than I had actual kids. Mm-hmm. So my services are not just for children, they are also extended to adults as male and female, because my husband did an actual bow tying and long tie, Windsor knot. He did a class for that and how to wear the handkerchief and the tie pin. He's into etiquette as well because he is a pastor's kid. So that's what Charm and Etiquette School. My biggest thing is formal dining. I love teaching formal dining and what conversations to have and self-presentation and what's appropriate conversation and what's inappropriate and how to, inappropriate and how to actually converse with someone without making them uncomfortable. That's what cultural awareness is, knowing what to do in front of other cultures, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. And that's a simple Google. Okay, what is acceptable in Japan as a greeting? Do I bow? Or do I handshake? Because there are certain cultural awareness, attitudes that we have to abide by.
It's disrespectful to look them in
Yes.
the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Right.
why they bow.
That's why they bow. And if you don't know that,
Right.
that
then you slapping them and you
and don't even know it. So that's where I teach things like that.
Okay.
It's kind of like
That's
etiquette
cool.
101. It doesn't get too deep.
So
and I don't mean one more thing. I'm
no,
gonna
go
shut up.
ahead.
In a homeboy of mine I was supposed to go to Desert Storm in Iraq.
My brother went.
He went.
Yeah, Lawrence.
I was supposed to go.
And both of my brothers actually.
And one of my homeboys and a cousin of mine stayed over there like 20 years, like, and retired.
It's nice.
And they were telling me some of the cultural differences. Women get stoned to death for walking in front of their man, stuff like that.
And we have to know those
You got to
things.
walk behind them.
Yeah.
You in Dubai, if you ever go to Dubai,
They told me the horror stories
you can't
about
go
it.
with your side chick. You can't go. Y'all got to be married, or y'all probably get put in jail or something. I don't know what happens, but you're not allowed in Dubai.
And see, that's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't know that. That's what Legacy Charm School is about, teaching those small cultural awarenesses and just etiquette is basically ensuring that everyone around you is comfortable. That's basically what etiquette is.
Okay. Wow. I actually did like that. That honestly has been truthfully fun to actually get all that about education. So we found out some things that we can actually do to kind of improve and things like that. But he's actually kind of extended our window a little bit into 9:20. So that gives us an opportunity to kind of introduce a new segment to kind of end on a light note to help us start kind of laughing a little bit. To get us funny. So we have introduced a segment that we like to call King Tweets.
King Tweets.
In which we have scoured the internet and just so happen to find some of the most ridiculous things that Mr. King J here has tweeted throughout the world. So we've had King J, please lead us into one of the King tweets.
Man, look. Well, they're not as much as funny. I mean, they kind of serious, but on a funny note type stuff. So I got one that says they're too jealous to like your shit and too nosy to unfriend you.
That's in social media
Talk your truth.
No, really
like
speak
for
on
real.
that. Speak on that. You know that. You famous on Twitter.
Yeah, you spoke on that earlier.
What did you speak on?
She spoke on it. She said everyone follows her on Twitter, but they too hateful to hit a like or retweet.
Right, I got you.
So she,
but the fun part about Twitter though, I see how many like the views, the engagement. I'm like,
it's
so y'all
way
see
better than
it,
Facebook. Like
but
Facebook,
y'all see me out here. I'm like, okay, cool beans. But yeah,
and you should just be okay with it. My thing is,
I'm like,
okay. So another tweet I just said was social media will have you believing everybody got their shit together but you.
Ooh, that is the truth.
Like I said in my video yesterday on Instagram, take that veil off, unmask the truth. Because, boy, people be out here capping so hard, they don't even know they capping no more.
Life is literally rented.
Literally, you can rent anything at this point, a house, a car. Probably could rent a phone if you really needed to. They let you get leases on cars, too. So, hey, man.
It's going to be boobs and butt. Okay,
let's keep it moving. So the last tweet was, I protect my peace because I'm evil as fuck when I'm mad, and I don't like that side of me.
Okay.
That I'm with. And honestly, I believe when I talked to Pop about that, we actually had that discussion. I brought up some things about my father with him and talked to him, and not a lot get to me. And my friends know that, my brother, not a lot really can get me to a certain point where I'm tearing up. Yeah. And I'm scared to get to that point because at that point, it's no holding back.
And that's most people. I'm just going to be honest. It's just not you, because I follow zodiacs and I read zodiac signs. That's like my grandpa used to say, you can kick a dog so many times before he bites you.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and that's your dog, and you know this dog love you, but if you keep dogging that dog, it's going to explode and bite you. So I understand that's with anything, anybody, any species.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Facts. And for all you people who say zodiacs and astrology ain't real, it's nothing but astronomy, the study of the sky. All right, these are real stars and planets and stuff that's actually going on, bro. We are all stars. We are all energetic beings. We come from something higher than ourselves. Right. Your soul is here today. You shining bright in the sky. It may not get brighter till after you die, because you know that's when it hits its peak, when it primes before it dies. Okay, so understand though, we're all here as stars. We just got to know ourselves in order to live in our truth.
And that's what I don't understand, how everyone can actually say that. I've had people come, oh, zodiacs don't exist. Every species basically migrate according to the weather. Mm-hmm. Think about it. Weather birds go in the winter.
Oh, yeah.
They go south.
Yeah.
I mean, so why wouldn't we have some type of instinct or some type of energy or connection
with nature? It's natural for us to be in nature. We are
a species. We are the human species. That's what we are. So everything has an instinct. Mm-hmm. So I don't get why people don't believe in astronomy.
But the truth is, we get more into our instincts. More of us are actually tapping in and walking in that, and starting to walk in that light. You know, if you pay attention to what's really going on in the world. Like, everybody want to say people who are love and light, then, you know, it's really something dark or something. But it's like, bro, they got a lot of truth to share. People just choose not to listen to them. And they're the type of people to know, like, I'm going to speak my truth whether people tuning in or not.
Right.
And that's why I stay tapping in with people how I do. When I talk about, like, Thursday is Jupiter Day, I love Jupiter Day because it's about the collective consciousness. It's about us tapping into our higher self and really focus on communicating that in a very tangible, physical way. Every day has an energetic meaning that corresponds with something that's going on in the sky. This not clout, this real.
That's in Think and Grow Rich. All you got to do is read it.
And I'm reading it, and honestly, I'm on chapter 5 in Think and Grow Rich. And it's been a book where I've literally had to read that book chapter at a time. Like, it's like once you get to the end and you done took notes and highlighted stuff, but you like, okay, let me make sure I actually comprehended what was being presented to me. But it's a powerful book, and everybody should definitely tap into it.
Don't just read it once.
Yeah, you have to do.
You have to keep reading it,
and you don't have to read it all in one sitting.
You don't.
Just a little bit at a time. You would be surprised how you will get so engulfed in it, you don't want to put it down.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Because it's telling nothing but truth. Every sentence you read, you like you getting slapped in the face by the book. Like,
man, I thought
what? Hey,
I thought I knew that.
It's been in my face all the.
Napoleon Hill.
And it's crazy how it happens. Like,
and they have the audio. They do have the audio for those of you who are not avid readers.
I am an audio listener because I am a person who stays on the move. I will listen to a book consistently. I've listened to Charlemagne books multiple times on end, because that is a better way for me to actually do it. You said some people move by rhythm. Mm-hmm. I will be one of those people who will listen to what you said while I'm sitting here listening to an instrumental, and I will be able 10 times to catch it more and sit there and really start comprehending things and breaking it down.
That's how we think. We think in rhythm. We think in images. So you're on the right track. You understanding how you learn and think. That's awesome.
Okay. That had to come with
Napoleon Hill.
Napoleon Hill.
I get into honestly one of my funnier King tweets. My boy say, my next girl got to be paralyzed. I don't need nobody moving funny. And that's real, man.
Jay.
That's real.
Jay. He's that guy. Guys.
His next girl gotta be paralyzed because he don't need nobody moving funny.
That means
That's real.
That means you the breadwinner and everything else.
He said he had another one, ironically, where he said he would pay all the bills, but something wrong.
I forgot what he said.
I forgot what he said too, but I seen it yesterday when I was actually scrolling down your Twitter.
But you think about it now. You know how people move in your life. Now, for me personally, I've told everybody. For me, everybody always has some type of agenda. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't mean it's bad or it could be good. But everybody has some type of hidden agenda. When you start hanging with a person, they're not hanging around you to sit around you every day and do nothing. That's not why a person is hanging around you. A person who consistently hanging around you, that means y'all either building something, y'all making something happen. But if you're just sitting around a person doing nothing,
change your company.
Like those people will start moving funny on you because the moment you start building something, they're not. All of a sudden, they move. Hey man, you ain't hanging out with me like
jealousy.
We used to be there every day.
Oh, you moving funny.
Yeah, you moving funny.
I
Exactly.
just moved out your way.
Talk.
Man, it's like bring it. Just touching real quick, real briefly. Like I've had like people that I've worked with. Like that I authentically supported because I wholeheartedly believed in everything you were doing. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like went against that grain.
People
and it's like, but let me tell you though, right? I'm a reasonable person. Let me pop the bubble real quick. I understand that people have to step out on what they think they have to do for themselves. Okay, now let me tell y'all, I'm a meticulous person, but that's a very fine line for me because it's like, take things personal, don't take things personal because it's business. But then when you watch how a person moves, speaking of people move funny, it's like, you actually showing me I should take this personal because it's like, I got a target on my back and I ain't even did nothing. And it's like, how do people disconnect from the people who authentically support them for energy that's just there for the moment? I've never understood that because I understand being loyal to a fault, but I also understand discernment. Like you said, Mama, when I turn 25 and I tell people at my job, I have a lot of people who are 17 and 18. I tell them, you do not really become adult until you're 25 years old. It's like life just makes so much more sense once you hit 25. So for you to tell me why now, it makes why I've been saying that makes so much sense. But it's like, we can't, it's like, it's hard for that to be comprehended and for us to actually, and that's the problem. We don't want to read nothing no more.
I'm a nerd.
I'm saying the majority, right? The majority don't like to read no more. Think about songs, music, books, the type of books that they make for kids now, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a whole different world out there.
Oh, you look like you ready to pop over here, ready to say something.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
We could real quick, y'all can hold your thoughts now. We advertise and promote all day, every day. I can put a flyer up. I can put 10 flyers up 10 times a day. And I can say, this is going on at this such and such location at this such and such time. Bring your ID, bring whatever is BYOB or it's not BYOB, and they'll get my inbox.
Is it BYOB?
Is it BYOB? Where's it
What
at?
time it start?
What time is
What's the dress code?
Is it gonna be
It's on the flyer.
It's on the flyer, and I wrote a caption saying the same thing that was on the flyer, and you didn't read none of that?
Yeah.
Look, that's worse than actually like being an engineer, right? Like I have people hit me up sometimes that want to come and record with me. How you hit me up for my prices, but don't tell me what you want to do? Make that make sense.
They asking for time before they even get time.
But
How much time you want?
What you trying to do? 1 song, 2 song, you need a beat made. Like my pricing goes according to what you need from me. So how do you want me to help you and invest in you with my time? And you don't even want to communicate what it is you need from me. And that's also a major problem. Sometimes we don't actually say what we need from people.
Right.
Can I say this? And this is honest, and I'm
That
sorry,
doesn't
I
need
noticed
to
this
be.
throughout life.
You need to repeat that.
People like the taste of their negativity.
Mm.
Like, you know how they say hurt people hurt people?
Or misery loves company.
Misery loves company. people love to say, because you can put it out there. Hey, man, I can help you do this. Yeah, but that'll lead to this. Okay, well, then I can help you do this. Yeah, but that'll lead to this. It's like, why do you want to taste all of your negative? You don't hear no positive whatsoever within the you don't see a positive outcome.
Like you're pessimistic to the point where you have nothing to look forward for in life.
If Malcolm and Lisa would approach me, hey man, we can help you get your own radio station. Yeah, but that mean I have to do this. I just passed on my blessing like no.
It's in think.
Me, hold up. This is confirmation. I'm sorry, Mama. Get back to your thought.
I need my plate.
Look. She sure did. You thought I wasn't gonna see it. Y'all clown me every week for it, but look. You have my word. Me and Joker had a conversation earlier about me cooking next week because a lot been going on in life and we ain't really been seeing you either. Okay, Miss Mel. But next week I will have your plate. You have my word, Scout's honor. Okay.
She on that plate. She wear my plate. She gonna bust you.
I called her one night. I know she told me she had issues with her phone, so I forgave her. But I had made a whole steak and asparagus and potatoes for her. She ain't even come through.
Look, she laughed.
Look, I did. Look, so I tried. So while you been hassling me about this plate for the longest now, I had tried twice.
So the infamous plate will come
next week.
Y'all be tuned in to see what is on
Chef Pimp
plate.
In the kitchen, okay? I'm going to cook something. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mama.
No, I'm good.
But I need to let her know. I did not forget about you. I got you.
I don't even know what I was going to say. That was a good note. We can end on that note.
Yeah,
that's a good note.
This has truly been fun. We done had a whole lot of fun. Of course, we taking away a lot. Miss Courtney, I like for Courtney to kind of give us a word of wisdom right on that.
I just want, when y'all get done, I wanna finish the show off with something.
Okay.
Okay, give us a good word of wisdom, Miss Courtney D.
Words of wisdom. All right. So, Jay, your tweet inspired me to speak on this for words of wisdom. Oh. Read that last tweet for me again, brother, please.
The last one, the one right here.
Yeah, that one right there.
I protect my peace because I'm evil as fuck when I'm mad, and I don't like that side of me.
Okay. So let me tell y'all something. First of all, we have to be self-accountable. We cannot blame how we feel on other people. Now, while they may have affected you in some type of way, you also have a responsibility to yourself to protect your peace. Can't nobody tell you how that look. Can't nobody tell you how to love yourself. You got to know how to do that. And that is a part of life's journey, really learning to love yourself no matter how it may look. We fall down. Everybody make mistakes. Ain't nobody perfect. That's what we strive for every single day. And I hope everybody does, truthfully, because why would you want to wake up on a new day feeling like yesterday? That don't make no sense to me. Mm-hmm. You got a whole new opportunity to do something that you did not have the chance to do. And yet and still, most people sit around wasting their time, not choosing themselves, not using emotional intelligence, choosing to be angry and blame other people for their problems. And as Mama asked me to repeat from earlier, sometimes we have to ask for help. We cannot be afraid. You cannot be prideful. You cannot let your ego speak for you because your ego will get you in more trouble than the truth will. So please stand in your light. Ask for help if you need help. As much as people think we're not able to build a community, honestly, there's so many people that I've met that are willing to give a team effort. They just haven't had the right cause to support. And that's what's important, having the right movement, having the right energy behind it, and making sure you actually embrace the people that support you and not treat them like shit, okay? So protect your peace, use emotional intelligence, understand yourself. Don't allow other people to affect who you are. Be guided by your truth. And if you got to, walk away. If you don't like how something's going, change your environment. Can't nobody else change it for you.
Let's move. And I'm loving that. This has truly been fun. I got to give a big salute. Oh, yeah. Well, he said he wanted to close out the show with it. But I wanted to give out a big salute to my mother. Thank you.
You're welcome. Absolutely.
Thank you.
I didn't get into Tish talk, but that's okay.
Next time. We'll bring that.
Oh, you'll be back.
Yeah.
We're going to give you a whole segment for the show for Tish Talk. We're going to make sure you get that shine.
Oh, thank you.
I was adopted into the family.
Yes.
And I'm just hearing you love me, so hey.
Absolutely.
And I also like to thank my wife who also put out this awesome quote, teachers don't put heart behind the art. I actually wrote that down. Certain teachers.
Yeah, let's not, because
put your heart behind your art.
Hey, do the part.
Can I just put that in? Put your heart behind your art.
Yeah.
Okay. I actually been loving it. She still been a mother in the show finna. But thank you, Miss Jasmine Haverly, for actually coming through and actually letting us into your brain.
Miss Frizzle.
Miss Frizzle, yes.
Frizzle.
Hey, and look, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
If I'm not even in the district and I see what you're doing and it sheds positivity and light on me, keep doing what you're doing. Don't let nobody tell you what you're doing is wrong.
Because I look for your tweets. I really do.
On me. You be what's his name? The principal. I
Ron
can't think
Clark?
of his name.
Not Ron Clark.
Oh, crack, don't you?
What's his name? Batman.
Joe Clark.
Joe Clark.
Joe Clark, yeah.
But this has truly been fun, man. So I truly appreciate y'all, man. This has been the OG of the Double G, your boy Big Dog Joker.
Your boy King J.
And of course, it's your girl Courtney D. Tapping out for the evening.
Now, y'all, big salute, man. Check us when it's next Thursday from 7 to 9. If you're looking for us on Facebook and Instagram at What Up
Radio 100.
What Up Radio 100.
Oh.
Choking on the candy.
You sure?
Whoa.
What Up Radio 100,
Thank
man. You
you.
can follow
That's
us
why
on
I
Facebook and
tell
Instagram and catch us live.
Etiquette 101. Do not talk with food in your mouth.
Oh,
Okay.
schooling, mama, schooling.
I just swallowed the candy.
She told you.
Check in with y'all next Thursday, man. Peace. What up?
All right, y'all. That was the conclusion of What Up Radio. I'm going to add about 10 more minutes to the show if my host don't mind staying. 10 extra minutes. I want to talk about two things just to sum it up for the listening audience. And the number one question is how the whole conversation tonight was about education. Mm-hmm. How do we as a community, and I hope this doesn't get the teachers in trouble, but the community, speaking for y'all, speaking through y'all, how does the community change the way our children are being taught? How do we do it? Do we go to City Hall? Do we go to the board meetings?
Yeah, it's like the board meetings. Start being more active at school.
If you show you care, they will.
Start there. Go to the board. Make your voice heard. Go to PTA meetings. PTO meetings. Start there. Actually answer the phone calls. Come be a part of the school life. That's all I can honestly say. Especially when you're in a Title I district, you're in a low income with the roads jacked up. You need to come on up to the school.
So parents don't do the random pop-ups like they used to.
No.
Unless
it's time to go pick their kid up.
But and I can't just blame the parents because this is 2022. It's no longer mom stays at home and dad goes out and he's the breadwinner and mom makes sure the kids are straight. In most homes, if a dad exists, both parents are working. So there's no one there to see about the child. So the child ends up, because I've taught children that had beautiful homes, had everything they could ever ask for, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Balenciaga. I mean, I even had a couple of come with Coach bags and shoes on. However, the parent was never present. They're going into this big 2-3 story home and nobody's there but them. And the only reason I know this is because you remember we taught online for 2 years. So, we could see some things. Or when parents were there with the students, I've seen so many parents that were so inappropriately dressed, if they even had clothes on, walk past cameras. And, I'm screaming, turn your camera off. It's just so much. Getting the parent involved that's available is where the problem lies.
Okay. And that's hard when you got babies raising babies.
Yes.
Basically.
Priority is not my child's school. The school is a big a cesspool of babysitters.
So they don't have to deal with their kids for them 8 hours. Like most parents really look forward to sending their children to school. And it's like, how do you really expect to send your child to school and you ain't even taught your child basic home training?
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Basic.
Like you see it in the school because I told you stepping in, just like I said earlier, a lot of the kids needed a father figure. A lot of times I went in there and it's not even about being a teacher. It's just the whole fact they have no type of.
I just want a parent figure.
No guidance.
So, and I can't, like I said, always blame the parent because Marcel, no, I raised my son as a single parent, I wasn't always available because I worked full time, was in school full time, and had a side business. So thank goodness that my child was just a good child. But being a single parent, my mother's deceased, my father's deceased. I didn't have babysitters. What do you do?
Okay. Ain't much you can.
So until we fix that, Jazz, help.
I was with my parents. They had the.
How did your mom do it?
God.
Okay, because her mom was a single mom with
dad,
four
kids. God,
And
my auntie, my grandmother. They pulled in.
Support system.
Uh-oh. This is a kind of different. Go ahead, Courtney.
Oh yeah. So I was raised with my stepmom, but that's my mom. She raised me my whole life, and I've been with my dad my whole life. So honestly, when people get the bashing men, I've never been tapped into that because I've always had a great example of what a man is. And my mother, the woman who raised me, a beautiful soul, and she taught me a lot. Like my parents taught me to be independent. I don't need a man or a woman, but I also know how to be open and love.
But again,
so it's hard sometimes, right? Remember we spoke on cognitive dissonance, right? We're in schools where we're not seeing people like us actually doing anything. So we're learning from people who don't really understand our culture to begin with. And so my mom always my mom worked 2-3 agencies. My dad worked my whole life. He had a side business. I've helped him remodel houses, cut grass, do a little bit of everything, replace sheetrock paint. All right. When I was in high school, my parents had a food business on the side. I used to sell fish plates and stuff with them on the weekend. So
you know about hustling.
You know, but before they got to that point, right, my mom ended up sick. But before my mom got sick, they were both out the house all the time.
So it's hard to bring the community in because of the responsibility of the parents. I don't know how we're going to solve that.
Okay. I mentioned our network earlier, and we're working on some things. It's going to take a while to build, but I love that most of y'all are teachers, and I'm going to need y'all's ear. I'm going to need y'all's input on some things. I think I already talked about it with Smoke about it's. We have another show on the network. It's called Partners of Purpose.
POP, I seen them. Yeah.
And what that is we're trying to get as many members of the community, whether we want gang members, police officers, we want whites, we want blacks, we want Hispanics, we want church clergy, we want the sheriff department that already say that. We want all of the leaders of the community to be partners of purpose. And partners of purpose is about making change, just like we're talking about tonight. That's what the show is all about. Making change. Any change that you want to see in the community, speak up. Let's make it happen. So I'm gonna need y'all's ears and y'all's thoughts soon.
And that's where the shortcoming comes, because everyone has all of this, but everybody said they're going to be there, and then when it's time, no one shows up. And so that's what you have dedicated people. You're going to have 1 million people say, oh, yes, we can, but you only have 5 people show up. Yeah. So that's where the community, I don't know how to fix that part of it. It's priority. What's important?
And it must not be important enough to show up.
Exactly. But everyone has a lot to say about it. And that has been an issue.
I can't say not important, not consistent enough.
Not
because even when those 2 people go out,
I can
those 2
that.
people can start doing something, but if they're not consistently doing it, you're not going to get people that's going to show up, because the first thing that come out of a hate mouth, oh, see, it didn't even last that long.
And Jazz can attest to this. The person that gets all the work, or the hardest working teachers, are usually, come on, who they put all the work on at school?
Well, you have
the people that they know gonna get stuff done.
And that's what I say.
But you know the ones who don't do nothing.
The faithful few, but then here's 100.
That's the corporate world.
But you're getting paid the same salary as me, but I'm doing your work.
And then want you to train.
Wow, if that's not a
they want you to train a person that's going to get paid more than you. Yeah.
Haven't you experienced that? Come on now, that's a whole nother subject.
That's a whole nother day, man. It truly has been fun.
But I don't know how to fix
Malcolm,
get in
thank
the
you for
community.
extending us. Seriously, man. This is probably, we've been getting asked for extensions lately. I guess we've been having great guests and great conversations. So thank you, man, truthfully. But y'all riding the Friday with us, man. Y'all be blessed, man. We love y'all.
And we out.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
That was another edition of What Up Radio.
What up?
On Real Talk 100 Radio. Y'all check them out every Thursday night from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. or whenever we get through talking, like we did tonight. Y'all check them out. Follow them on Facebook. Follow them on Instagram at What Up Radio. Every week they make sure they talk about something along the lines of mental health, education. What else, Smoke?
We're just trying to get better in the world, baby.
Trying to get better.
Let's
Talk
make the
about
world better.
everything.
Physical and emotional pleasure.
Physical and emotional pleasure.
There you go.
We'll see y'all next Thursday night. Peace.
Deuce.